Hi, things. The weekend is over. Crying. How you guys doing? Hi. How are you guys? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So far the computer's still alive, so that's great. Hi. I've been good. Working, almost caught up. Caught up with like the normal workload, but like I still have to do comic work that I need to catch up on, but everything else, I'm there. I'm only gonna have to stay up late a few days. The computer will live. I did ask them to like replace any faulty parts with like better ones, so my processor is better, so it's way faster than what it used to be. Hi, I'm good, thank you. Gorb hasn't come back for your PC yet. No, not yet. We'll see on Tuesday, on Wednesday, if Gorb is gonna return with a vengeance. I don't think so though, cause like this is a brand new PC. I only managed to like swipe a few things from the old one, like my memory and like my graphics card and a few things. But like everything else is new. Like motherboard is new, processor is new. Every other part that isn't like my files and a bunch of stuff is completely brand new. So we should not have any issues. And it's also, you know, working. In reality, you were kicking his ass. Yeah, like Gorb rebelled against me. He did, yeah, he came for my wig. Like, he saw that I was winning and was like, not tonight, bitch! And decided to like completely snipe my computer. That one's up on like that short that Wave made immediately, by the way. It's so funny because he made it and then he was like, oh shit, do you want me to keep making it? I was like, yeah, do it. It's hilarious. That one's up on TikTok already. We have to make a shit ton of content for TikTok because like TikTok responds better the more shit you put up there. Do you use PC for both work and gaming? Yeah, I do. Although at some point in the future, once I have like my own place here in Spain, I do want to have like a more... maybe a dual PC setup so I can like game and stream on different computers. Hi! Gorb is a sore loser, confirmed. He got really mad. Can you share your app for TikTok? Oh yeah, fun fact, I'm actually not Kinkybation on TikTok. Someone else took that username already. I'm Kinkybation official. Mods, can somebody put it up? But yeah, like I'm waiting on like the pretty pink PC for when I have more time to build one. Cause this one was like an emergency build. Nyada nyada. It's official now. It is official now. Like, yeah. Cause someone else took my username and I'm not gonna go ask them for it because I'm not desperate. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just make it like Kinkybation official and there you go. Meow. I hear Gorb in my dreams. Good, he wants you there. Thank you, mods. I'm surprised you didn't go by Lilygoth. Well, I would have, but I think that the other username is a little bit more well-known. I'm not about to post any art on TikTok because I would get, like, banned immediately, but since my normal username is more well-known, I might as well use it. How many mods do you have now that Purple's on civilian promotion? Just Wave, Spanish, and Metal. I heard your PC exploded. It did explode, but it did die. I am okay. Thankfully, I had to, like, emergency build a new one, because I'm getting... The Mini Lily's still, like, getting repaired, but it's gonna be, like, a week or two before they give it back to me. So, emergency built a new one, so far I can work, and I can do shit, so we're good. Hi! Keeping the brand name is important. Yeah, like, at first I thought, like, should I make it Lilygoth? But it's like, nah, I think it's better if we keep the other username. Oh yeah, no, we can do stuff about Magical Miss Lucy on TikTok and on YouTube and shit, and like, Anything that's safe for work, we can share, no problem. But, like, when it comes to, you know, the weekly comics or any Patreon content, that one's, like, not allowed on TikTok. At least you're not completely up Sheik's Creek without a paddle. No, I did genuinely have a moment this week where I was like, everything is doomed and we're all going to die because I had been, like, computerless for, like, 2 days. But thankfully, like, the guys at the computer store called me and they were like, yeah, no, since you built this PC for travel, it has some, like, really small specialized part that's gonna take us a little bit to get. And I was like, just build a new one. Go, do it. So they did in, like, 2 hours, and boom, now we're here. Hi! Yeah, Burpo stepped down from being a mod a little bit ago. I'm not looking for another one at the moment, but if the stream gets bigger, I might have to consider it. Mainly for, like, YouTube, because, like, Spanish and, Wave keep Twitch pretty, well, but Metal's, like, alone on YouTube right now. Wave can jump back and forth, but, like, Spanish and Wave are good on Twitch, and Metal is the only one that's on YouTube at the moment. Hi! Being a content creator is hard, isn't it? Oh, it sure fucking is. The thing that's hard is, like, keeping up a consistent posting schedule, whether it's for, like, videos or art or whatever. You just have to be consistent. You have to post a lot. Like, people don't get that if you don't post consistently, people are not going to stick around, especially if you don't go viral. Like, fun fact, yes, I am a decently large creator in my field, but I've never once had anything of mine go viral. Never. Not even once. Literally all that I've gained following Patreon, Twitter, whatever, it's been through the grind. Thanks so much for gifting a tier 1 sub to the community. That's so sweet. Hi. I didn't play Metaphor yet, so I'll probably skip the stream. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, well, before we got started, that there probably might be some Metaphor spoilers. I'll try and keep it spoiler-free, but, like... assume there's gonna be all the spoilers in this stream. It's been a few months since the game came out. If you haven't finished it, I will not at all hold it against you if you decide to skip today's stream. To be fair, your TF2 video got pretty big. Yeah, like, see, that's the funny thing. As an artist, I've never had anything go viral. As a video, as a content creator, as a streamer, I have. Like, it's way easier to go viral somewhere like YouTube than it is on Twitter. Because my work gets shafted to the bottom of the algorithm for obvious reasons, because it's not supposed to be easy to find. But on YouTube, it's easier to go viral. I have had work go viral on YouTube, but somewhat viral. But for me, viral is like if it hits like a million hits. But I've had stuff get pretty up there on YouTube. Yeah. Retaining it is a different matter, though. Oh, yeah, like, that's the most difficult part. It's like, how do you keep the audience? 500k is not viral. Thank you, Wave. Playing this game is a delight. Don't cuck yourself out of it just to watch today's stream. I agree. I do agree. Like, if you haven't played Metaphor yet, go do it. What are you waiting for? Go do it. Hi. We'll get that 1 million vid one day, though. Yeah, when we do it, when we do, like, tf2 part2.com.org. I found you because of the Meet the Team video. A lot of people did. A lot of people found me through the Meet the Team video, which was an absolute shit show in the best way possible. I knew that, like, when we were doing it, when we were, like, mid-stream, I was like, oh, this is gonna go places, because we were having such a good time. It was incredibly unhinged in the best way possible. Chat was having a great time. I was having a great time. The videos were hilarious. Everybody was cracking jokes. It was a great time, yeah. My favorite archetype? Oh, the merchant. Fucking busted. It could be worse. It could be like, oh, I like this character. I want a closer look at them. Ah, shit, I spoiled myself. Yeah, like, which is why if you want to, like, skip the stream because you haven't played Metaphor yet, go for it. Like, I will not at all be upset. You can pet me, but I'm not a purr. I'm an alien, not a cat. Okay, oh, I forgot. I have to find the stick for my triangle. Give me 1 second, chat. I might need it today. I have a webcomic, and it has everything that you would possibly want to have in a webcomic. It has romance, it has action, it has funnies, it has big tit. It's called Magical Miss Lucy. If you like magical girls and you like a silly little love story that might not end up being so silly later, this webcomic is for you. You can read it over on Webtoons if you look up Magical Miss Lucy or Kinkymation. Currently, we have 3 episodes out. It's big chapter in a bit. This version obviously doesn't have spicy shit, but there is spicy stuff over on Patreon. Patreon.com/Kinkymation. Do not go in there if you're under 18. It is a story about a magical girl in her 30s. You could say that she's a little bit too old for that job, right? Well, there's a reason for that. She was actually a perfect match. But if you want to find out why she's a magical girl in her 30s, read the comic. It's definitely worth your while. Chill over. Oh, Lily, jump scare. The stick for my Tramamgo has, like, become one with the ether for some reason, so I have a spoon. I have to, like, I packed it, but, like, I'm rifling through my suitcase, which I obviously haven't finished unpacking because I am a hot mess of a person, and, I can't find it, so I have a spoon. You spoon a triangle? Yeah, I do. See? I have it here. Look at this bit. It works just fine. It's just a spoon. We need a spoon emo. Lily has a spoon. It's probably back in Mexico. No, I remember packing it. I do. Like, it might be, but I can just get a replacement one off Amazon if anything happens. Or use a spoon. Bye. Yeah, close enough. The spoon gets the job done, chat. You have fun staring into our souls, Lily. Oh, tons. Oodles. The airport people stole it. I don't think they broke into my suitcase to steal, the stick from a triangle. Okay. Let's get started then. So, a few weeks ago, I finished an amazing game called Metaphor ReFantazio, and if you haven't heard of it and you like to play video games, you probably live under a rock. This was Atlus' newest and greatest. I guess if I could describe it, it's like all the gameplay shit I like about Persona games, with a ridiculously good narrative, amazing art direction and character design, phenomenal music, and just fantasy. It's one of the most fun things I've played this year. It's my game of the year for 2024 was Metaphor ReFantazio. And one of the things I really liked about it was that the character designers cooked, and they cooked hard. So as you guys know, character design is kind of my jam. I could talk about the entirety of the art direction for Metaphor, but we would be here for 2 weeks. So in the interest of not, making sure that everybody sleeps through the next decade, I think I will talk about the character designs this time. And if this goes well, maybe we can talk about the art direction in general. Because if you haven't played Metaphor, you probably should. Go play it. Leave the stream now. Go play Metaphor. It's worth it. There's going to be spoilers for everything. Do not say I didn't warn you. If you come in here fighting your fucking demons and being like, Lily, that's a spoiler. Mama, I finished the game like 3 weeks ago and I warned y'all, okay? Okay? Gucci, Uchi, Gucci. So yeah, Metaphor ReFantazio. The game actually just recently won a cultural award. Sakurai gave it, like, the respectful Japanese nod, which loosely translates to, fuck yeah, let's go! So, the game has actually gained a decent amount of notoriety in Japan, and in the West also. It's a metaphor for spoilers. Yeah, it is. Sure is. We got our gamer subs. I'm like drinking a nice little bit of lean. And I also have coffee. I'm gonna be caffeinated to filth. I'm sorry. Like, I will absolutely. And there's also like a museum exhibit for Metaphor. Fun fact. What flavor? Lean, baby. Yeah, I'm having the lean flavor tonight, and I also have the one with like the pink grizzly, which I really like. They sent me the most aggressive pink flavors. I love it. So Metaphor, this is from Sakurai. He said about Metaphor, I went to the Metaphor exhibition. The art is amazing. Making games is really, really hard. Which loosely translated means, holy shit, this is amazing. Let's go, baby. Like, we all know that Sakurai is buddies with the people over at Atlas. Because Joker is in Smash. So if, like, Will is in the next Smash, I would not at all be surprised. Look at my boy. Look at my boy. Dad E. So, like, this is some stuff from the Metaphor Museum, which I would have loved to visit, but Japan likes to make fucking limited time exhibits only, right? So, yeah. I will say this about Metaphor. If you haven't played it yet, please do it. It's an amazing turn-based RPG. The writing is spectacular. The only bad thing about it is that it's fucking tied to the goddamn calendar system that exists in a lot of Atlas games, right? So that's the only thing about it that I would be like, God damn it, because I just want to fucking bum rush the boss. I want to go, I want to play, I want to do the thing. But the game is spectacular regardless, and you should play it. The artwork for Metaphor, again, I could talk about the art direction for Metaphor for like 2 weeks, but in the interest again of not being here for, 2 weeks, we're going to talk about the character designs, because that's more of my jam. So I am familiar with the cast of Metaphor, but one thing that I really liked about the character and costume design in general is how well they managed to create a more modern urban fantasy. It still feels like a fantasy game, but the clothing is distinctly inspired by a lot of fashion from the 1960s and 60s and 70s, particularly from London. So it's actually really, really interesting to see how they meshed two completely different fashion styles together and still made it work. So let's begin with Metaphor ReFantazio, shall we? So, first off, hold on, let me zoom him out properly. Our baby boy, the Will, the man, the Twinkie. Will has two designs, technically speaking, but I did not want to grab the other one. So we're gonna go with the main one, because this is the one you spend the most of the game in. Anyway, so the one with the two different eye colors that looks like Makoto and the Toaster's love child, right? I really like Will's design. He's very Twinkie, he's very unassuming. He's also incredibly pretty and very, very androgynous almost. Like, if you told me that Will was a girl, I would have also believed it. He has a very small build. Like, he's like lovingly a manlet. Deadass. Lovingly a Twinkie, but again, he has like the most clear-cut example of an outfit that you could see someone wearing in like 1960s London if you took off the few design elements that he has that are completely fantasy. Like, if you took off like the belt, the sheath for the sword, maybe changed his bag, and his like little gay headband, Will would not look out of place on London Street at all. But the cool thing is that they added just enough fantasy to him to make it believable, right? Like, he has a sword on his hip. His boots are perhaps a little bit taller than they would have been in the time period. He has gloves. He has the metal headband, the igniter. Well, it's actually, what the hell is that armor piece called again? Wait, wave, insert picture. This little thing, which they asked me to make a bunch when I was crafting in 14. I cannot for my life remember the name of it. There's armor elements in Will's coat and in overall his design that tie it together to the fantasy element really well. Not to mention that he has a very unusual eye color and hair color as well. And yeah, like, Will for me as a protagonist is very well executed, dead ass, because he stands out. He's an Elda, he's like the only race in Metaphor that doesn't have any weird features. That alone makes him stand out, but the outfit is also great. I really like the color scheme. It's just 2 colors. That's all you need. It's 2 colors, and the rest of the colorful things about Will are on his face, and that's it. It's literally just black, white, a little bit of blue. That's it. And it's beautiful. It is. He looks like favorite pose, ripping his heart out. Oh, yeah, he's about to fucking tear it right the fuck out. Tear his little gay baby heart out. Will actually does have a bunch of concept art. Everyone in the main cast does. I don't think that there's an art book yet, though. Okay, so, like, this is Will's concept art, right? Underneath his amazing coat, he does wear, like, the dumbest pair of pants on Known to Man. They're, like, pulled up, like, right to his belly button, okay? Like, that's twink protection right there, baby. Boo-oo. But this is his concept art, right? He's so pretty. If you had told me that Will was a girl MC, I would have believed you. He has an incredibly feminine face, very androgynous figure. Overall, just a very elegant character. He doesn't look like... He seems to have a very kind personality. I think that's the thing you get at a glance, right? Having played the game, I know this, but if you had never seen Will before, you would think like, oh, he seems really sweet. He doesn't look like a shonen protagonist. He doesn't look very like, imposing, or he doesn't look creepy or anything. He just looks super, very, very pretty, very sweet. The bust does look like 2B. He does look like a blue 2B. He does. He has very long hair, like, and you see him without his headband a few times in the game. And it does look very, very feminine, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that, like, embracing feminine features for guys gives you a lot more room to play around with character designs. And, like, male characters in video games already are allowed to have a lot more facial features than women because you can do a lot of really weird angles, sharp lines, big noses, like, really strong jaws. But for Will, I think that if they want to make a main character that looked very sweet, but also unique, I think that giving him, like, softer, more feminine features was the way to go. Very demure. Yeah, he's demure. He's demure and feminine, and he embraces that femininity, and he looks gorgeous. I love his shoes. I really do geek out a lot about the fashion and metaphor because of how well it ties into the historical period that they used as a baseline for most of the clothes that they designed for this game. There's more fantasy elements later on, but I think that making Will's outfit mostly modern is a good fit because he's always carrying around his stupid book and, like, there are stuff in here that if you take a closer look, it's very fantasy. Like, no normal jacket has, like, those pads on the shoulders and whatnot, but at a glance, he does look like he would not be super out of place in a modern setting, which I like. All right. That was our baby boy, main character. Atlas does have a thing for blue-haired twins. They do! This is like Makoto and the Toasters Love It. This is actually his talk sprite. I would play the animation for you guys, but there's so many. I really like his talk sprite. It's so beautiful. Also, he has white pupils. It's one of, like, a cool detail about the character. Everybody has weird eyes in this game, but Will has, like, very, like, white pupils, which is very striking. I have white pupils also. And it's really high contrast. It's not something you can do with every color, I would say, but with gold and with blue, it looks really nice. He's a character that only poops once a week. Once a week! And it's a fight for his life! And that's why that outfit, it must be so easy to take off. That's why the pants are so high. Because, like, he poops once a week, and it's a fight for his life. One yellow and a sea of blue and white. It's an amazing little bit of contrast, though, because tell me that it doesn't make you look at his face immediately. It's the one warm tone, because even his skin is a little ashy. It's the one warm tone in the entire character that immediately makes your eyes lock onto his face, which is what the designers wanted. His poop's so risky, he's lucky to be alive afterwards. He gains a stat of luck whenever he goes to the toilet on a specific day, which is why our boy only poops once a week. No one needs context for that in the game, just play it. Blue Steel, he's pouty. He's very pouty. Yeah, he's very feminine, like a very, very pouty boy. The lucky part is that he survives the shit. We're not starting this now! Someone mentioned that Will's clothes clue you in that he looks like royalty. I think that it's a very subdued type of royalty, though. Like, he doesn't look princely, because it's not a very fancy outfit. But it does look elegant. More elegant than a lot of other people in the cast that are not in the party. So I would argue that, yeah, he has a pretty elegant outfit. Really nice subtle use of patterns, too. There's only squares in his coat, and it's so pretty. Yeah, he looks noble, but, like, he also doesn't have so much fanfare that he looks out of place. Because when a character has a lot of fanfare, you'll see it with Stroll, it can oftentimes be like, oh shit, like, you're important. And, like, remember that Will is, like, victim numero uno of fantasy racism, like, every 30 minutes in Metaphor? So, yeah. His design should be eye-catching, but decently simple. Like, if you showed me a picture of Will, and I got to look at it for, like, a minute, and then you took it away from me and you were like, draw Will, I could probably do it and not miss a lot of details. Because it's simple. It's a simple design. It looks busy, but it's not. Alright. Moving on. Baby girl. Gallica, right? Obviously, pretty much everyone is included in this list, by the way. Gallica, baby girl, fairy. Gallica, very quickly, I was concerned about her when I first saw her, like, in trailers, because we didn't want to have another Mona situation, right? But she very quickly became one of my favorites in this game because how supportive she is. And she looks so sweet. Tiny baby pointy ears. She has her little battle armor that's completely unnecessary, but it melts my heart. But the fun thing about Gallica is she also has an outfit that's incredibly simple, that with just a few details, you change the whole look. This is her battle armor. Normally, she's not wearing the boots, gloves, and the little helm headband. She's normally just wearing that, like, little yellow and blue bodysuit thing, which is adorable, by the way. But my favorite thing about Gallica, besides how, like, adorable her battlesuit is, the details on her wings are so sweet. They're so cute. She looks like a dragonfly. Normally with fairies, I guess that I'm kind of used to the Zelda ones that don't really have a body. So, like, seeing, like, an actual little baby fairy that sits on your shoulder and, like, talks to you and is very supportive, it was, like, such a nice touch. And I like her wings a lot because they're not fully transparent, which means they're not a pain in the ass to draw. And there's, like, very tiny little elegant details that look like flowers and little swirls. It just makes it look magical, right? Super, super sweet, incredibly magical. Overall, an adorable design. Like, and it's also very simple. Gallica's another character that if you gave her to me, I could probably draw her in about 10 minutes and remember most of it. She doesn't fight at all, but, like, girl is trying. Baby girl is trying, all right? She needs to do her best. I also really like how sweet her face is. Like, she has gigantic eyes, very cute pointy ears. Half of her face is covered by her hair, but, like, that just makes her look sweeter. But her clothes are, much like Will's, very simple. It does kind of look like a bodysuit from, like, the 1960s, 1970s, especially with the color contrast. They used to play a lot with really clashing colors back in the day, and adding those to Gallica's suit works really well. Gallica, unlike Will, has a very colorful color scheme. It's not, like, monotone. She's mainly warm tones, a lot of, yellow. Her hair's, like, bright orange. It's orange, like, brown. It's a little bit of an in-between with silver elements here and there, because most of, like, the thing that's eye-catching about Gallica is the wings, and that's what they want you to look at, is, like, how iridescent and pretty and, like, almost borderline insectoid her wings are, but, like, she's sparkly. Also, she's an iPod. And she's super cute.
Hi, Lily. How's the stream going?
Hi, stream's going great so far, thank you. Yeah, she has psychedelic colors, but they're not super loud. They're not super annoying. This is Gallica's concept art. So this is the outfit that Gallica normally wears. It's actually incredibly simple. And if you, like, at first, when I first saw her, I wasn't completely sold. I was like, I don't know about the weird swimsuit thing. But, like, seeing her in-game and seeing the fact that that's, like, her casual wear really did sell me on it. It's very sweet. She doesn't need any more. Like, when you have a character like a fairy, a lot of the times less is more with the clothes, because they're already tiny, and if you add a lot of detail to something that tiny, it's gonna get lost in the sauce. So the simpler the patterns, the better. If you're gonna make a character that's, like, fairy-sized, I would advise against doing hyper-detailed stuff, which is why the bulk of her detail shows up in her little battle suit, and even then it has incredibly simple shapes. I would say that for a character that's that small, they did execute her details flawlessly. Because from far away, you might not catch the flowers in the bodysuit, but you catch that she's wearing something, right? And that's why also I think they made her have such bright hair color, so you don't miss her. It's very easy to miss characters that are that small, especially if they're very busy, but with Gallica, they did a really good job in use of color and detail. No need for shoes when she can fly. Yeah, that's another cute thing, right? It's like, why doesn't she have shoes? She can fly. She's almost always in the air. Also, Pete's, I love her feet. They're so cute. She's a really just precious character. And the little, like, hole in the back for her wings. They really thought about the construction of the outfit of, like, how would Gallica get dressed? Because if you have wings, like, wearing something like a bodysuit, they could have gone full backless, but I like that they just did a little cutout for the wings, and that looked really sweet. Really, really cute. Why do fairies not wear leggings? Again, it's not necessary. Like, for a fairy character, the simpler the better, right? Usually they, like, equate them with nature, but I think that with Gallica, they didn't want her to break theme with the rest of the cast. And I think that the execution for her is really, really good. Really solid. This is her little baby talk sprite. It's funny because despite the fact that her talk sprite is the same size as everybody else's, I still equate her to being Whittle, which means that they did a really good job in, like, making her look cute and tiny and scaling down the size of the character, like, on screen. So if you look at the sprite, it's like, oh, she's tiny. Yeah, that's a fairy. That's a baby thing. That's, like, small. Ooh, woo mouth. Oh, yeah, she has goblin mouth. Very cute. Much support. Very fairy. Her eyes are absolutely fucking gigantic. I think she has the biggest eyes in the cast. Like, I thought it was Yuffie, but no, I think that Gallica has the biggest eyes in the cast. And that makes sense, because she's, like, tiny. So they needed her to be super expressive, even in, like, scenes where she might not show up as clearly because she's much smaller than everybody else. I like where you can see that where the back buttons for the wing gaffs are. It's not just a hole in the cloth. Yeah, again, they thought it through. So, like, you can tell that this is a good costume designer because they actually constructed the garments in a way that you could realistically put on and off. Whenever I'm designing clothing for something, I am thinking about how would you wear this? How would you pattern this? How would you sew this together? Because if you've ever tried to make clothes, and a lot of cosplayers will tell you this, a lot of modern costumes, you basically have to find garments that are already made and deconstruct them. That's not ideal. When you're making like any type of clothing, it's better if you know how to pattern it out and make it from scratch than having to buy something pre-made and deconstruct it, because that's much harder. Look at her little face. Also the ears, pointy ears. I love her so much. She's so cute. I love Gallica. Eyes per size of head ratio. She has the biggest eyes in the cast, but again, she's the smallest cast member, literally, so that has to show. Like, I don't know, like, Hazme also has really, really big eyes, too. Alright, let's move on to the next cast member. Baby boy! The gay that I always forget about. Whenever, like, I was like, who has already leveled up everything? It was always Stroll. Always Stroll. I really like Stroll. Stroll is not only a bro, but, like, he is, at a glance, the quintessential noble. The quintessential noble, but, like, I never thought he was gonna be stuck up because he has such a pleasant face. Baby girl! Stroll, my boy! Fire Emblem Lord. He would not look out of place. He would not look out of place in a Fire Emblem game at all. Like, you could make a Fire Emblem game out of the Metaphor cast, and I would not think that they looked weird at all. They just fit. They just fit. The most popular man in the game. He is. He's more popular than Will, believe it or not. Like, Stroll is more popular than Baby Girl. Yeah, but, like, I like Stroll's look a lot because he has, like, the most old-timey outfit, I think, so far. But at the same time, if when he takes off his jacket, it just looks like a normal blouse, right? The cool thing about Stroll is how noble he looks at a glance. And, like, again, the character designers for Metaphor really cooked because I can tell what their deal is at a glance. And if you play the game, you'll see that, like, it's exactly what you think it is. It's a noble and a kind-hearted person, hero, bestie, and he looks like your bestie, and it fits, right? Great use of color, great coat. Like, this coat is a little bit more 18th century France, I guess, than 1960s London, but it also fits. There is just enough modern and fantasy spread out between the cast and, like, the overall NPCs that all of these outfit choices look very believable. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy to tie together two concepts and marry them so well, but if you pay attention to the details, it is absolutely doable. It just takes some finagling, and I cannot imagine how many iterations of these outfits they went through before they actually found something that fit the aesthetic they wanted. Because his shoes are super modern. His pants and his shoes are super modern. Like, pants like that would not normally exist in a fantasy setting. Like, the only, like, thing that they were, like, full fantasy about was how they're put together, like, the belts and the construction of the garment. But overall, they're incredibly modern pieces of clothing, except for the coat, which has, like, his coat of arms on the back. Everything about Stroll looks noble, but there is enough modernity in there that I am thinking that they paid attention to this. They didn't want to break aesthetic. Nothing looks out of place. He has the Austin Powers fit. He does! Oh my god, he does. He absolutely has the Austin Powers things. He's Will's fencing partner with Dix! 18th or 19th century. I think 18th, from the cut of the waistcoat and the placement of the buttons. I think it's a little bit, no, I think it might be a little bit too long to be 18th century. I think it might be, like, right at the start of the 19th. Right at the start. He looks like someone from the Renaissance era. A little bit later, more like the 1800s, because the jacket is really long. But again, there's some modern concessions made here and there that lets you know that they wanted to keep it looking kind of consistent with everybody else, which I really appreciate. His pants are shorter than Will's because he poops more often. Oh, yeah, he doesn't have to poop once a week. Baroque. Yeah, he's very, very fancy. Very fancy, but also not super ostentatious. Like, he doesn't look like he's a pain in the ass to be around. He doesn't look like a snob. He just looks like a noble, deadass. He looks like a noble, not out of place in a Fire Emblem game, not a snob at all. I love his horns. Most Clemara have, like, really tiny little baby horns. Stroll is no exception. The only one that has, like, giant ones is, like, fucking Louise. Is that supposed to be a longsword? If it is, I think that you would not be... No, that's gigantic. I think it is, but it looks great. I really like... weapons? Cannot draw them. Really like them. I like his great sword. It has a wall hanger that he found and started using it as a weapon. Oh! This is Stroll's talk sprite. Okay, concept art though. So yeah, Stroll's design is actually really interesting because out of everyone in the cast of like your friends, he has the most fantasy details on his outfits by far. He has his coat of arms on the back. He has a lot more color. Like, remember yesterday someone asked me that if they could use more than 4 colors in a character design? And I said, depends. This is what I'm talking about. Stroll has a lot of color in his character, but it's used so sparingly and placed so well that you would never notice. It's not distracting. It's literally just in the back. Are we major spoiler free for the stream or no? Nope, it's spoilery no. If you want to play Metaphor ReFantazio and you don't want to get spoiled, I would suggest you click off. Incredibly charming. Look how pretty he is. Look how fucking pretty he is. Tell me Will wouldn't fall for that man in 2 seconds. Look how gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, he has like the most fantasy details in his outfit by far. But again, a lot of modern concessions. He looks like he should be riding a horse in the cover of a romance novel. No, he's too twinky for that, but I get what you mean. Yeah, there's a lot of really good symmetry on this. A little bit of asymmetry, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I always think that if you use it well... his name is Stroll. He is one of the first, he's literally your first party member.
I believe his weapon is called a bastard sword, because it's longer than a short sword, but shorter than a long sword.
Yeah, like, Will's is a normal, short sword, but, like, Stroll has a really big one. Him and Yuffie, yeah, Yuffie doesn't even look fantasy to me. Yuffie's outfit would not be out of place at all in 1960s like go-go fashion, you know. But Stroll does have a very fantasy aesthetic. I love the shoulders. I love the shoulders on this jacket, right? Because normally with jackets like that, they would slope downwards as they normally do. But to make it look more fantasy, to make it look a little bit more like ooh schmancy and a little bit more interesting to look at and to like kind of play on the horns on his profile, they made the shoulders go up. Those are like hella shoulder pads, by the way. It's really interesting to see how they played with the shapes with this, because you wouldn't know it to look at the guy, but the composition of his character design is triangular. But the way that he forms that triangle is with his coat and stance. It's someone that's very confident, honestly. And you would know, if you play the game, Stroll is usually the first one to speak up about anything, really. The dude can't shut the fuck up. But he has a very confident stance, and it kind of shows in just the outfit itself. Is he compensating with a sword? No! And this is like his stock sprite, right? The thing I like about Stroll's color scheme is like how warm and inviting it is. He looks friendly. He looks ridiculously friendly despite the fact that he's a noble because he has like very soft yellow. He looks like sunshine. Absolute sunshine, baby boy. Sweetie. Baby. Hi. His full name is Leon Stroll de Halateos. Yeah, he has a really long noble name, which I cannot be bothered to remember. He feels like the second in command, because he is. He's your bestie. And he looks friendly, he looks inviting, he looks like sunshine. His outfit is phenomenal. It's such a good play on shapes. It's probably the most fantasy out of the whole cast, but they added little details here and there to make sure that it wasn't just a historical piece of clothing. Like the shoulders, the cut of the coat is different than what you would see historically, the modern pants, the modern boots, and, you know, just a really nice marriage of elements in everything about this design. Thanks so much for the sub! He was chosen to be in the King's Run and never talked about it. Comparing this design to the old beta design is so night and day on how different the vibe was. Oh yeah, you can never really base your opinion on a character on the beta because that is subject to change, and it usually does. 96's inspiration is fitting since this was the decade of a lot of civil rights history, especially in America. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, historical things that Metaphor did with its writing that, like, there's nods to it all throughout the game. It's subtle, but it's a nice catch if you can actually spot it. But yeah, that is Stroll. That is your first party member, besides Galaga, because Galaga doesn't fight, doesn't do anything. Let's move on! So, I am counting Grius. Rip in pieces. I am counting him because he was supposed to be the rogue party member, right? He was in your party very briefly. Not for a long time, but his design is also baller. Father. Dad! F's in chat for Grius! I would have been furious if we didn't count him. I think I have most of the cast in here, actually. Our man Feels. Yeah, Feels, but, like, look how good that design looks. Not just the outfit, the posing, the expression, the features, the hair, everything about this character. Like, again, I know what his vibe is immediately at a glance, and that's a good thing. Right? Like, instantly you can tell that it's a soldier with a lot more experience, he fights for justice, he has a cause that he wants to protect, definitely has seen his fair share of fights, is a dad! He has a dad face, he does. He's also Scottish, so that's a W. Oh, the accents are phenomenal. Like, we're not talking about the voice acting because we're not listening to anybody, but at a glance, I know what his damage is. And as a character designer, that is like your job. That's the thing you want to do. That should be the thing that you strive for, is that if you look at a character that you designed and people can tell you immediately what their deal is, you succeeded. That's it. You cooked. Our man fucked. Yeah, he does. He was on his second wife, who was also a banger. Oh, he has the cutest daughter, yeah. But unlike Stroll, primarily cold color scheme, does not at all dress like a noble, despite the fact that rogues do have higher status in the game. The armor bits, though. Something I do like about Metaphor is that they don't usually go full armor. They prefer to use armor pieces, which make for more interesting silhouettes. I love me a good suit of armor, I do, but they're so hard to draw. They are. And oftentimes, they can be very hard to move around in. And I think that, like, for character animations, mobility is kind of key. And overall, it fits with the aesthetic of the game if they're not, like, completely emulating old-style armors. Like, Metaphor is, like, post-apocalyptic. Like, it's apocalyptic to the point that it's circled back around to, like, another earlier part of human history. So, not going with full armor is clever. I definitely like the way that they did it. I love the fucking greaves and the shoulder pad. He only has one. Like, he has one pauldron and that's it. The other side is the cape. But very interesting take in patterns here. That's a pattern that most soldiers in the game have. But this particular color scheme, you only really see it with Grius, I think. Most soldiers either have, like, a white armor with, like, green detailing or, like, white with yellow. Grius, I think, for me, as far as I can remember, the only one that was wearing, like, a blue piece of armor. Thanks so much for the follow. Hi! We went so far into the future, we regressed into the past. And it was actually a really good call to do that, because not only does it work very well narratively, but visually, it gives them a lot to play with. Is the Broco officially over then? By which you mean, like, we're talking about spoilers? Yes, it is. But yeah, Grius was not around for long, but he has the concept art. I think he was supposed to, he's the rogue party member, even if he didn't stick around for a while. Look at him. So this is really interesting, right? Because this is, like, the concept art. I think that it's really good to have pieces of concept art like this that just have flat colors, because this makes the animators' jobs much easier. The 3D modelers, too. If you hand a 3D model person a fully, like, rendered piece of concept art and you don't give them this, they will strangle you. They will strangle you because they're not going to know how to fucking model the back, right? And if you add all the shades and all of the patterns right away, it's going to be really, really difficult to pick base colors for things. Especially if you're doing, like, test animation. So, like, handing an animator this piece of media is very, very helpful. Outfit-wise, you will notice underneath the fantasy elements that he seems to be wearing something almost akin to, like, a 19th century military uniform. which is really interesting because for fantasy, they usually go with like the more crusader type of vibe, robes and like loose pants. That's a military jacket underneath there, and it looks incredibly good. Look at that. The details on the button and stitching are very, very clearly inspired by 19th century military uniforms. Think Napoleon a little bit, except not quite as high ranking. This is a foot soldier. The thing I like, though, is that if you showed me this outfit without the pauldron, without the breastplates, without like the leg bits, you could probably find it somewhere, or it would be much easier to make than a lot of modern character designs, because this is based off real clothes. And the best thing you can do when designing anything, really, people, monsters, places, is base it off real things. Because when you're basing your character design off real things, when you have references, your job is going to be much easier. You're going to get a much nicer result. I always say design with a purpose, and design with a purpose, but don't forget your references. Seriously. Ugh, father. Baby girl. We're going with the weirdest chick in the cast. I don't care. Hulkenberg, God, she really grew on me. Like, when I first saw her, I was like, I'm not too sure. Like, her design is gorgeous, but at the same time, she's, like, supermodel skinny. Hi! Like, Hulkenberg is weird, right? She has a body type that I would consider supermodel skinny. She has, like, no ass. And at first I was like, nah, I don't like that. Why doesn't she have any hips? But, like, the more I saw the silhouette for this character, her silhouette is a cross, dead ass. Like, it's meant to play on the length of her ears, and it's meant to just go right up to the face, because her hair is, like, the brightest color in the whole thing. But I was like, how come she's, like, that skinny? It works much better in 2D, and, like, the 3D model, it looks hilarious, and I think we made jokes about her sliding into toilet seats, like, 50 times. But when you look at her in a 2D render, it makes complete sense why she has the body type that she does. It's because they wanted to play off a very, like, tall, athletic figure. They wanted a shape for the outfit that was, like, a nail, right? Like a cross. Like, very, very firm. That's why her outfit is, like, her outfit is, like, top-heavy in terms of design elements. That's another thing you can do, right? It's like you can play with asymmetry from a different angle. Instead of going side to side, you go top to bottom, and when the bottom half of the outfit is less busy than the top, the eye goes to the top, usually. They want you to look at her face. So most of her design elements are in the top half of the character, like from the waist up. Like, she has... But there's also lines that, like, show you how long the legs are. Like, your eye can... Like, the sense of flow for Hulkenberg is pretty cool because it's a cross, so... You look at her face, but then your eye can very, very smoothly glide down to her feet because there's no detail there. It's just a straight line. It's almost a straight line. It's very, very pretty. Gorgeous hair color. Like, Hulkenberg is similar to Will in the sense that she doesn't have a very saturated color palette. It's like 3 colors and they're very, like, muted. Because the brightest thing about her is her hair, and that's what they want you to focus on. Like, that's her thing, is like the knight with the red tresses, right? Her hair and her eyes are incredibly bright, and the rest of the outfit is very desaturated, so you look at her face. Usually, character designers will want you to look at a character's face. That's normally the thing that they want you to zero in on. And again, you can tell at a glance that Hulkenberg is a knight, that she wants to fight, warrior, queen, fucking... you can't tell that she's super fucking weird at a glance, but you can definitely tell that she's a unique person. She looks like beautiful and can bench press. You probably can, honestly. Hulkenberg is one of the prettiest cast members here. I think that the first girl thing is real, by the way. I see so many people shipping with Hulkenberg. Even though I personally don't see it, I like Yufa. The first girl is real, okay? Very, very munchy. Yeah, very munchy, very athletic, very, very skinny, supermodel skinny, dead ass. But it all serves the design to show off a specific thing. Ignore the fact that her hair is orange in her concept art. Again, you're going with flats for this. She has more curves in her concept art, but I think that, like, having her be very, very, like, almost curveless in her actual character artwork serves the purpose. Yeah. Floppy ears. She has adorable ears. I like the fuzzy ears for elves for Musanto is a really nice touch, because normally when people see, like, really long ears, they assume, oh, elf, but they made them fuzzy, which was a nice, unique touch. For me, it's, like, the brightest red you'd ever seen. For me, this is orange. For me, in concept art, this is orange, but again, a very simple patterning and color for concept art. Because, like, usually when you're concepting, you just want to kind of get a feel of the character. Like, I call this color blocking when I'm designing an OC, that I don't want to fully shade a piece, but I want to try out different color combinations. So I'll just fucking brush tool a fucking quick one, even if it's messy, and see kind of what works for me. And her talk sprite. The talk sprite for Hulkenberg is funny because her hair looks huge. In the concept art, in her 2D concept art, it looks much sleeker. Like, it looks like, it doesn't look as, like, oh wait, sorry, like her 2D render. It doesn't look as wide as it does look in game, but that might just be because of the angle her face is in. Look how gorgeous that is. Absolutely beautiful. Hulkenberg has a lot of really pretty details in her outfit as well, and she has a similar military-style uniform, but she also has a decent amount of fantasy elements, particularly in the top half, like the armor bits. If you see her in her casual outfit, it looks modern as hell. But in her full battle regalia, it looks very fantasy. But it's deadass like a bodysuit. She also does have Tata, despite Atlas being like allergic to boobs. Look at those. Look at thems. Look at thems. They're so nice. And like little feminine details here and there that do let you know, yes, this is woman. Because a lot of the times people are afraid with like knight characters that are female that they're gonna look like too masculine. I think they did a really good job in making Hulkenberg look incredibly feminine while still getting the point across that she is a fighter. Absolutely. Elf milk! Yeah, she does have bags. They're not gigantic, mind you. Again, she's supermodel skinny, but she does have boobas. That was the first time I've ever realized you could see your cleavage on the sprite. It really makes you realize how good it is on drawing the focus to her eyes. Yeah, again, it's because of the hair color. When you want to draw attention to a character and you don't want to do it through design elements, color is your friend. You want to know what's your friend? Saturation. Don't overdo it, though. You will burn out your retinas. Saturation is a powerful tool to draw the eye, but it's tricky to use because if you use too much of it, it makes your eyes tired. It's too busy. So when you're working with color and you want to draw attention to something specifically using color saturation, it's a good idea to follow the metaphor rulebook and make the rest of the design muted. Just so your eyes aren't, like, assaulted by, like, bright asshole red saturated color everywhere. I know there's no sprite for it, but can we appreciate how adorable young Night Hulk was? Oh yeah, she had shorter hair. Wave can put up a picture if he finds one. She's absolutely beautiful, and the thing I like also is that I didn't even notice this until the last boss, that every race in this game has unique eyes. Hulkenberg has no pupils. None. Deadass none. It's just solid blue. It looks like she does because of the lighting, but she doesn't really have pupils. Like, most Rusans have, like, a very, very bright blue eye color with, like, no pupils. Stroll has very human-looking eyes. Will has white pupils. But every race in Metaphor has a unique eye style, which I think you will see with time. The thing I like about Hulkenberg's face, though, is, like, drop-dead gorgeous. But weird. She has a weird face because her eyebrows are covered most of the time. You can't see them because of the bangs. She has, like, really, like, her eyes aren't droopy, but, like, they're very heavy on the bottom. Like, really heavy bottom lashes, very full lips, but a very, like, pointy nose, right? So she has some unique features here and there. She's not classic anime pretty. Not to mention, her face is actually incredibly long. Under those bangs, there's a 60 head. Look at where her hairline starts. All the way up here, baby. She has a 60 head underneath there. And again, she's a weird character, but we appreciate the weirdness. We love Hulkenberg. All ears. Yeah, again, if the ears are gigantic, you have to compensate by making the hair volume a little bit bigger. The shoulders are really wide. You have to know how to play with your shapes so things don't look off-putting or disproportionate. Especially if you're doing stuff like fantasy races, keep an eye on character proportions because they can fuck you over. She has an adventurous appetite. You can tell she's weird at a glance, though. Like, she's gorgeous, but rara. Dad. The weird uncle that we all know and love. Okay, so Neuras has what I like to call the One Piece fit. You could put him in one piece and he would not at all look out of place. Like, not even a little bit. If you drop him in an Oda piece, he would just be like, yeah, he fits there. Yeah, he fits. Dad. Drunk dad. Dad that likes to get drunk in the cockpit of the ship and will never let you drive it, though. Yeah, he does, because, like, he has all the things that of someone who used to have status but does not give a shit anymore. Right? The coat is undoubtedly super fancy. That is the coat of a noble. But underneath that coat that he's literally just wearing because his shoulders are fucking cold, he's wearing like the most yee-ass tourist dad fit on the planet. The sailor shirt with the fucking tie, the fucking shorts, and like the sandals. God, he looks like an Italian dad on a mission. Hi. He makes me think of Wave. Well... Also, can we talk about how well they implement the character features with the outfits? A lot of the times, the wings in the... I don't remember what the bird people are called, Wave, insert the name before the chat starts spamming it. The bird people, a lot of them have 2 pairs of wings, right? Not all of them, but you would think that a design element like that would get... Ishkia. Yeah, that one, bird. You'd think that a design element like that would really get in the way, right? No, the character designers for Metaphor seamlessly integrated the feature into the characters without making them look weird. Like, Neora's second pair of wings is almost always folded in on themselves in a way that looks very casual, almost like a belt. It's such a great character composition, too. This one's like a rhombus, it's not a triangle. He holds frame, chat. He holds frame, he really does. He's so weird, because again, someone that used to have status does not give a shit. Like, the top half of his outfit is like, oh, a general. The bottom half of his outfit is, oh, a dad. Father. You look at him from the top and it's like, oh, so serious. And then you scroll down and it's like, wait, what? Where are your socks? Why are you wearing shorts to a war meeting, father? He just is. He just likes it. Grandpa the Sailor Man. You can't really see his eyes in this one, but I think his talk sprite does show them. All the bird people have like really narrow noses for the most part. And with Neora's, it's such a like cool key character feature that's how he signs his pictures. He has the black dad barbecue fit below the waist. He has a dad fit under the like fucking fancy navigational coat. He has a dad fit. And, like, that coat is so wide that I completely understand why it's staying on his shoulders, because it's really, really big. Gru-looking nose. He does look like Gru. He looks like a mad inventor, because he is. Again, if you can tell what the character's deal is at a glance, are you drinking... Dad, is that boba, or is that your liquor? If you can tell what their deal is at a glance, that you've succeeded as a character designer. Like, he's holding his drink. But yeah, like, look how seamlessly they've integrated the wings into the design without making it look too busy or cluttered. Boba liquor? Can you have liquor with boba? I think that you would die. That might be too much for you. His driving juice. Oh my god, what if Neora's drives drunk? What if that would be really funny, but also, Dad, no. Yeah, the drip is phenomenal. I really like the detail on the jacket. The drip is great because it's like completely nautical while also being very goofy. And he's a silly character, he really is. He also has a lot of color, but it's colors from similar families of hues. And it kind of just shows the chaotic nature of the character. Like, you can make a character look very chaotic if you dress them in a way that would not typically make sense. Like, normally, Neora's, an outfit like that, you would wear long pants. You would wear, like, closed shoes. You would have, like, maybe your sailor hat. But with Neora's, they decided to, like, lean in, embrace the chaos, and give him, like, dad sandals and shorts. Trust me, lad, I fly this beauty better than some of the old jockey juice. What? I love Neora's. He's so good. And also, like, he looks aerodynamic. He looks like... He does look like a bird. He does genuinely look like a bird. It's such a good design. Such a fun fit, too. It's one of those characters that, like, I never got tired of looking at him because his outfit baffled me every time I saw him, but at the same time, I love it. But yeah, like, I want to see, is that boba or is that just, like, his fucking, like, morning juice? We don't know. But yeah, look at his profile. He looks like a bird. Mad scientist Birdman. Look at that. It just goes to show that a lot of the bird people, some of them do have nose bridges, but a lot of them don't. Like, they have, like, a flat face on the front. Like, they're kind of based off owls, I think. Yeah, I don't know why they have 2 pairs of wings, but I'm fucking vibing with it. They cannot fly. They're flightless birds, I think, but it does look really cool. Drawing him must be hell because of the wings. You would think so, but they have such a simple shape that they're not that hard to draw. I don't remember Neuros ever having a pipe in the game. He does have one every so often, but not usually, no. But this is just concept art. This is just the shit that they hand the artist to, like, start working with. Like, 2D. Like, he does have the pipe in all of his renders, though. I like that his glasses clear up to show his eyes when he's serious. Oh, yeah, for the most part, you can't see Neuros's actual eyes ever. But you can see them when he gets serious. Like, all of the talk sprites are animated really, really well, so... Just triangles for the wings, you mean? No, it's a really simple shape. Like, they're not wings that are overly fluffy or hard to do. Like, they're very well segmented. Okay, dad, father, Bat Dad. Hazmae's a fun character, right? Because when I first saw the character, I was a little bit concerned. Atlas always likes to put mascot characters in the party. We had Teddy in Persona 4, we had Mona in Persona 5, we had, like, the fucking dog in Persona 3, and after Mona, I was like, oh, please don't be annoying, but they subverted my expectations by making this one of the most heartfelt characters in the story, both writing-wise and, like, his voice is super deep. He looks cute, but he also looks wise. I don't know how the fuck they pulled that off, because he looks like a bug. He looks like a bat bug. Look at the size of his eyes. But everything about him just kind of says, like, wizened, right? Old. Deleted old. He steps on bread. He has, like, his little baby boots. No pants. Dick out. Dick's out for Hazmae. Jesus Christ. Hazmae has sexy boots. He does. They look really good. Koromaru's closer to Hazmae personality-wise than Teddy or Mona. Koromaru's a dog. Look at his feet. Look at his feet. His character design is amazing, yeah. He has 3 colors, and he's using every single one of them to great effect. He has a lot of saturation on the face. The red on his boots and armor is muted. He's very easy to look at, though. His ears are gigantic. The thigh-high armor is so funny. I love it because he doesn't have pants. I love it because, like, no pants whatsoever. No pants for Hazmae, only Bat Dad. Bread making feet. Oh, yeah. If you play Metaphor, so you get to see Hazmae making bread dough with his little fucking rat feet. It's a rat! Bat dick out. Hell yeah. Also, he's a dad, sadly. Sadly in the game, because he brings it up a lot, he's a dad. But, like, he's, like, one of the oldest cast members, I think. Like, Neuros and Hazmae are about similar ages. They're both, like, middle-aged. You would never know to look at the guy, because you look at this thing and you're like... But that's the thing about it, right? The character designers did such a good job that you don't see him and think, haha, goofy mascot character. You see him and think, oh, shit. It's gonna cut me to ribbons. He looks serious, which is not an easy feat to pull off with, like, this, like, silly of a creature concept, a bat thing. I can't believe that came from, like, a person. He has a very slight French accent. Look at his concept art. Oh, baby! His wings do seem a little bit bigger in the concept art than they are actually in-game. They're usually folded in-game, so they're not that easy to spot, but I like seeing him from the back. He's the coolest. Also, he's so cute. An amazingly adorable character, while at the same time a very serious one. I think that, like, this character designer likes to use triangular compositions for his designs a lot because, like, it's an inverted triangle. He's very wide up top and very narrow at the bottom. Just, like, not just in, like, the outfit itself, but, like, the way he stands, too. Like, the wings are really wide, but he has, like, really tiny little baby bat feet. Like, I think that they did have to think about how are we gonna make this bipedal without looking completely stupid. So, changing a bat's normal silhouette would do it. It looks really good, and I also like how rodenty his face is. He's voiced by Dimple in the Japanese version. Oh shit, he has a Dorito vest. He does, like the gray Dorito vest. They can glide, but they can't fly. Yeah. Every race that has wings in Metaphor, no one can fly. No one can fly, but it's okay. They look good. Yeah, he has a French accent. It's very subtle, but you can catch it. His sword is almost as big as he is. Hazmae used to be a knight, and you can tell that in his stance and his sword, and just how he carries himself. It's a very elegant character. You would think he's like a fucking goofy little guy, but no, he's a pretty elegant character, and his voice is tippy top. And I love his color scheme, because, like, There's just enough brightness in it, because, like, his fur is cream colors, like white. But his eyes are so bright that I just can't stop looking at them big old eyeballs. He's by far the most serious, which is incredible. He's, like, one of the oldest cast members, too. Does he do dad jokes? No, actually. He's a pretty serious guy. Best dad. Yeah, he was in the special ops. He was in the, shadow ops of Metaphor. Fun fact. And he does look it, like, you would expect a bat character normally to be, like, black, in terms of fur, but I like that they went with a white bat, with, like, an albino bat. It's definitely a unique take on a bat-like creature. I like it a lot. Baby girl! Babe, this is, like, if it wasn't for Yuffie, the creature, Juna, creature, gets the fucking, award for my favorite character in Metaphor ReFantazio. Look at her! 50 head! So, Juna has the perfect example of an outfit that is so 1960s. It's not even funny. Like, that is a little fucking go-go dress. The matching high heels, the orange socks, like, clashing color palettes that somehow work really well together. But again, just like with Will, there is enough fantasy in this outfit for me to not feel like it's out of place. She has a giant leather pauldron that plays into the flow of her hair really well. She has the gloves. She has a big fucking leather belt. The straps on the sides, and her casual outfit doesn't actually have the thigh highs. A lot of leather and a lot of little subtle details that tell you this is a character from a fantasy game, even if she doesn't look it, right? It's very subtle. It ties together so well. No one looks weird here. No one looks out of place, which ordinarily you would think so, right? You would be like, well, how come you look like you're in the 1960s and you don't? But, like, they share similar design philosophies, so no one looks weird. That pauldron kind of reminds me of a feather fan, actually. It looks like a closed fan, which I think was intentional because she fights with fans in game. 70s called it and it wants it back. No, this is very 60s. This is very, very 60s. That little, like, the little, like, mini dresses with, like, the matching colored high heels and the thigh highs, that's very 60s. And also the headband. But yeah, Juna's one of my favorite characters in this game. Creature, absolute creature. And look at her eyes. Like, Juna, for me, is the thing I like the best about her. It's not even her outfit, even though it's great, is her features. She looks like a 1980s Bishoujo character. If you dropped her in, like, a 1980s manga with, like, the super sparkly giant eyes, I would be like, yeah, this character fits here. It's such a, like, nice homage to old anime. I don't know if that was intentional. I'm willing to bet that it was, though, because they're supposed to look like dolls. The size of the iris, right? When you're trying to make a character look cute, bigger irises will usually benefit you. Bigger eyes in general will usually benefit you because that makes characters look like really cutesy and it makes them look like a prey animal, like a rabbit, you know? Except Juna will smack you, and she would have a great time doing it. But the Nydia have gigantic eyes. That's my favorite thing about them. They look like jewels. They look like marbles. Like, if you look at Juna in the character menu screen, if you have the game, her eyes just look like marbles. Look at that. Absolutely gigantic. And again, I think that this was a nod to early anime from, like, the 70s and 80s that had gigantic, like, bishoujo eyes, very tiny eyebrows, very doll-like features, small mouth, small nose, giant forehead. And as like a full race in Metaphor, it was so clever. It was so clever of them to take such a specific historical aesthetic and actually turn it into a fantasy race. Why not? Like, why can't people look like that, you know? Why not? Just do it. Her hair is also a lot. She has a lot of hair, and that must have been hell to animate. Dear God. Candy design. Yeah, it looks like Candy. It looks like so many, like, old animes. Like, Wave, put up some pictures of, like, 70s and 80s Bishoujo manga so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Hell, even Sailor Moon, the mangaka, has an art style that kind of fits this fucking profile. Because it's giving magical girl, it's giving doll, and you'll see why in a minute. But at the same time, we retain the fantasy aesthetic because we're not losing those design elements that tie everything together and make the entire cast very cohesive. We have the loud patterns and the silhouettes from the 1960s while still retaining pauldrons, leather, accessories, weapons that make things look a little bit more fantasy. She has a long neck. Oh, everybody has long necks in these games. And also, how could I fucking name Juna without Creamture? Creamture! So, spoiler, I don't care. Juna has a true form, and it's this thing. It's this thing. So if you were wondering, wait, there's like all types of races in Metaphor. Where are the short people? It's them. It's the Nidia. It's the creature. Lily mode! Yeah, this is Creamture mode. So like, the thing about the Nidia is that what they actually look like is this. They are almost always wearing, like, using a physical glamour. It's not an illusion, because if you look at she's wearing the same clothes that she wears normally. They're way too big on her now. They're normally glamored to look older, so people take them seriously because they look so bitty and so doll-like and cute that people are like, oh, fetus, time to punt it. She's super tiny. It's genuinely adorable. It's one of, like, the funniest things. Like, when I saw it, I lost my shit. Like, isn't she adorable? Thanks so much for the follow. It's the funniest thing. They're meant to look like dolls, like fucking old style, cutesy Western dolls, but also maintaining the fucking Bishoujo anime aesthetic. Oh, we were denied Alonso Creature mode. I'm so sad because I need it. I demand Alonso Creature mode. Like, oh, Juna does deserve the triangle though. Like, the creature is getting the triangle because I love her. Like, baby girl, I love Juna so much. You have no idea how much I like this character. I liked her already, and as soon as I saw the creature, I was like, what is that? What is that? Give her uppies. I pick her up. Yeah, her glamour still looks very doll-like. Yeah, there's certain features that they can't hide with the glamour, but they can add height, which they need. Yeah, it's kind of a shame we didn't get to see any other Nidia like this except for Juna, because it was like explaining the tribe's backstory a little bit. American Girl, a little bit, yeah. But I needed to give the Creamture Juna an honorable mention because it's so cute. It's so precious. Yeah, I always have her in the party. She's like a great debuffer. The football has been placed. Do not kick Juna. No, no. Oh, I hate, like, oh yeah, Alonso fucking took me out of it, bitch. So yeah, Juna, again, one of my favorites in this cast because she has such a strong aesthetic from the get-go that even without any, like, clothing, she is it's impossible for me to forget where she's from because it has such a strong sense of aesthetic. And again, from the look of the character, you know, diva, and that's it. That's all you need to know. The character designer cooked. Small, but we'll cut you. And obviously, the person that dethroned Juna as my favorite, Yuffie. Yuffie has a phenomenal design. All the Mustari have helmets, although she doesn't usually wear it. But the thing I like about them is the third eye. Every race has something unique to them, and like the closer you get to like a human, the lower on the social status you are. And then Mustari just have like the third eye. It's super cute. Yuffie, though, has a great outfit because it's like a very 1960s mod cape with like a simple white dress underneath it. But the thing that makes it look super fantasy is her helmet, her staff, her like bracelets, and that little circlet that she wears that like encircles her eye, and the hairstyle. Again, you can absolutely make fantasy out of anything. You can even make fantasy sci-fi. I know a lot of people think that those are opposite ends of the spectrum. They're not. You can make fantasy anything depending on what elements you choose to mix and match. Just make sure that you keep them cohesive. She actually won the most popular character in North America. Yeah. She's very cute. The only bad thing about Yuffie is she's wearing socks with the sandals. Yuffie, no. A very bright pop of color only in her legs. Everything else is very like muted, desaturated, and very pretty. Yeah, she's the summoner class. She's like super cute too. I like her helmet, even though she barely wears it. But yeah, the third eye is like the thing about the Mustari that makes them stand out. Isn't it more like leggings with sandals? Oh, they're tights. Yeah, you're right. They're like green tights underneath there. Yeah, we didn't actually see any Mustari's faces until we got to the island. Yeah, actually, I think Edeni was the first one that we actually saw. Thanks so much for the follow, you guys. Did you ever see her without the robe? Yeah, the casual outfits have her without the giant robe. Look, this is like, look at my baby girl. So this is what like she looks like without the robe. I can't get a picture of the full dress, but usually, again, I need to show off her face because of how much I love the third eye. That thing doesn't blink. Does Zorba count? Maybe? If Third Eye sees through bullshit. She sees all. Yeah, we saw him without a helmet, but like his eye was closed, which is weird. Normally the Mustari eyes are open. There, she stares at you even when you're fucking Without the third eye, she would have 5 head. I think that like the way her bangs and the circlet are cut are meant to encircle that eye. Like if you guys squint a little bit, the shape for like her little crown thingy and her bangs make the eye shape on her forehead without having an eye in it. Which again, really nice play in shapes. But like Yufa's very soft, so she doesn't have any hard lines in her face, in her outfit, in her hair. Everything is soft. It has a really nice flow to it. Like she looks nurturing and sweet and adorable. Because she is adorable. She's literally the cutest character in this game, and I will fight anybody that doesn't like Yufa because like, oh my god, I love her. Also, eye color, precious, perfect. A nice little purple to offset the green details in her outfit. Just like deep purple. Look at her. Look at her! But super soft and a really great sense of flow to the character as well. Unlike Hulkenberg, who is like a cross, Yufa is more of like a cone, right? No harsh corners or on anything. Hell, even the pattern on her robes are like circles. Everything about her is meant to be soft. Like, Yufa is friend-shaped. She's friend-shaped. She's a great use of the circles for character design that makes it look a little bit more approachable and soft and sweet. And I obviously need to triangle my girl because... Yeah, I love Yufa. Super cute. What's Juna's shape? Juna is triangular, but it's mainly because of her hair. Her helmet is really cute. Everything about the character is adorable. I love her so much. And again, yeah, she's great. Like, she's one of the cast members that you meet later on, but not super late. I think that you get, like, the full party by, like, the halfway point. The camp is meant to be, like, 100 eyes. It does look like eyes. But it's super soft and easy to look at. And that's the thing, right? A lot of these designs are pretty easy on the eyes. I never once felt like, oh god, that's too much when looking at a character in Metaphor ReFantazio because they were just that well put together. Hi, Fanny from the Gen 3 Pokemon Review. It's funny that I'm half watching and just hearing, oh, I know this character. I do. Yeah, me. Same. It's a poncho. It's a cape. It's a cape, but it's a cape with, like, 2 parts. It's a cape that has the, back section and then, like, a front section that drapes over it. I remember when you thought you were close to the end when you, like, recruited Basilio. Oh, how wrong we were. Yeah, no, like, Atlas games can get pretty long. It is a JRPG. It's a long game. Like, that's the thing. If you've never played Metaphor before, it's a solid, like... If you bum rush everything, like 70 hours or 80. I did 100 and a bit, but I like 100% did every social link I could. Yeah, she has a bit of a darker skin tone, but it looks really nice with the blonde hair. I think so, yeah. Oh, opened material. Basilio grew on me as the game went on. Like the first time I saw him, thanks so much for the follow. The first time I saw Basilio, I was like, oh, okay, just like dog person, right? But then he started talking and I was sold. The accent is everything. Basilio has a pretty strong design character-wise. He has like the same style of jacket as Stroll, but unlike Stroll, who has like way more noble details on the jacket that make it look a little bit more pompous, his is a lot more casual. He's also wearing like the most 70s outfit under that jacket in the universe. He has bell bottoms! He has bell bottoms and like pointed fucking steel-toed boots. Like, Basilio, sweetie, no. Oh yeah, his accent is phenomenal. And again, an incredibly muted color scheme because his eyes are the brightest thing in the character. It's like bright red, fucking bright red. And yeah, super 70s outfit, but a lot of good fantasy details because it's not quite a 70s outfit. If you look closely at it, there's like a slit in the bell bottoms. He has like a belt that's very unusual. The jacket is more fantasy because it looks a little bit more old-fashioned. He has like the necktie thing. Drawing them with the weapons also really helps sell the aesthetic. Like the giant fuck-all axe, like holy shit, Basilio. Every person in this game, Persona type of game is long. The length of the game is crucial to build the player's real attachment to the characters and make their real bond to the party. I think it's more like a gameplay thing. It's because the calendar system, that it is long. Most JRPGs are pretty hefty, but the calendar system makes it a little bit longer, I think. He looks like he's gonna beat the shit out of you. But that's the funny thing, right? Like, he does. But tell me that you can't see underneath that he has a fucking heart of gold. It looks like a character that, like, he looks intimidating, but he's not menacing. Not even a little bit. Like, his stance is very open, it's very casual, even if his expression is a little bit stern. I did not realize how green his shirt was. Yeah, like, he has a green shirt, but it's a very desaturated green. Most of the outfits in Metaphor aren't that bright. They tend to prefer more muted color schemes, which it kind of helps with the tone of the game, because the tone of the game is pretty dark, so sometimes you need to make sure that you match the writing to the character designs. I think every time you should. But again, the brightest part of Basilio is his eyes. They're like bright red. Everything else is super muted. This is a great talk sprite. Little baby dog ears! And again, similar cut of jacket to Stroll's, but not as fancy. He's a big boy, but he's an absolute gentleman who does not want to hurt anyone. He's so sweet.
Oh, I thought your computer committed Sudoku on ya.
It did.
Quick fix? Hubby touch it and use his magic fix-it powers? Also, a question, have you ever played or heard of the indie game IB?
Thanks so much for the super chat. No, my computer actually did bite the big one. I had to emergency build a new one. I have heard of IB. I've seen it like back in the day. I know the game. I've never played it though. I love his braids. Everything about Basilio looks, he looks approachable. He does. Like, his eyes are kind of intimidating, but, like, for the most part, he's just the sweetest person. A really nice, like, he's, like, the most aggressively 70s character in his terms of his outfit out of everyone in the cast, and I am obsessed with it. I am. Like, I think that they could not have picked a better time period to base the clothes on if they tried. I think a lot of people were probably thinking, like, oh, fantasy, they're gonna go with, like, Victorian fashion. No, going with, like, 1960s was such a clever touch because it has a lot of really unique silhouettes that they could play with. And I do wonder, like, what the talk was like when they were doing initial concept work for this game. I don't know how it works with video games, but usually you build your world around the aesthetic of, like, your main character. So, like, your main character kind of sets the vibe visually. They probably had, like, an idea of what they wanted to do, and then they, like, designed Will, and they were like, okay, let's go with that. I'm not sure about how it works with games, but usually that's how I do it. You can definitely tell that Will was the one they designed first, though, because he's also very aggressively, like, 1960s. But Basilio is the most 70s character in this cast, and he rocks it. It looks so good. Very minimal use of patterns, but really strong shapes. Really wide shapes, like shapes that, like, very bottom-heavy, but still good. Also, very lanky. Like, back in the 70s, the, like, preferred silhouette was almost androgynous and very lanky. So they kept that type of vibe for Metaphor. Did you go for the main party already? Yeah, I'm on Basilio. Boy has swagger. I love him so much. Hi! It was probably a long talk. This game was in development for almost a decade. Some of the first things that you figure out, though, is writing and, like, general aesthetics. Like, before you can actually start, like, coding anything, you need to actually figure out what the game's vibe is. Coding is the thing that takes the longest, though. Like, yeah, he's an incredibly interesting character. Is probably one of my favorite ones in the cast, too. Like, out of the boys, I was with Stroll up until I got Basilio, and then I was like, oh, shit, husband material. He's so sweet. On the field, an absolute monster. Outside the field, cinnamon roll. He makes you desserts. He cooks you things. His pants are fantastic. Everything about the design is absolutely fucking phenomenal. Thanks so much for the follow. It's great. Like, and again, this, like, proves that you don't need characters that are stupid busy to make a good character design. Because he doesn't have that much color. He has some really interesting shapes, but it's easy to remember. They're memorable. Do you just know that his brother picked out his outfit for him? Oh, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
He kinda reminds me of David Bowie in Labyrinth. Something about the clothes and posture.
Oh, yeah, like, definitely. He has that vibe. It's very, very good. Thanks so much for the super chat. Oh, absolutely, Dell picked out that outfit. I'm convinced that his brother picked it out. But yeah, like, everyone in the cast is, for the most part, incredibly well put together aesthetically. And I will fucking praise the character designer for this to the high heavens, because they did such a good job.
Could we watch Yoko Taro's reaction to Metaphor?
Maybe later. This is already gonna be a pretty long stream, because we have a lot of stuff to go through. Seriously, could you imagine trying to cook with basically no food and learn how to read and write? He taught himself! Yeah, Basilio's a really good character. I genuinely like him. But, like, the entire party's great. There's so many, like, good things about every single character in Metaphor. I'm actually gonna, like, before we move on to the rest of the characters, which should be a little bit quicker, mods, could you guys take care of that? I want to look at the early concept art for Metaphor, for, like, the main party. Like, what we started with versus what we have now. Thank you. Hi! Yogotara's reaction to Metaphor was hysterical. I believe that there was a menace. But yeah, like, I want to go through the old concept art. This is Hulkenberg's initial concept art. You could definitely see that when they started iteration for these characters, like ideation rather, for these characters, they were way more leaning towards fantasy as opposed to going for, like, the mixed modern approach that we have now. And this does look very good, but it's not nearly as punchy as a design as what we got in the end. I think that, like, taking a step away from traditional fantasy and embracing something modern and unique was the right step, definitely. She looks really good with short hair, though, because it gave her it gave them a much stronger sense of identity as a video game. Like, I think that aesthetically, Metaphor might be one of my favorite games in the last few years because it was so stylish while still retaining a fantasy aesthetic. This looks like a young Hulky. It does, but it's like one of her first ideations as a character. She looks naked without the earflops. Oh, yeah, that's probably when they were, like, defining the races a little bit more before they, like, got to the final ideas. Whenever you're designing anything, you're gonna go through and usually, if you're following the process, you're gonna go through a bunch of ideas because that's the way that you narrow down what you want to do. It's way too stereotypical. Yeah. This one, I would say, is a little bit more basic than what we got in the end. But sometimes it is good to start with stereotypes. If you start with stereotypes, and usually when you're designing characters, the way I do it, at least, if I'm designing something big, is I make a bunch of stereotypical things, or a bunch of, like, really strong, solid concepts, and then I, like, whittle it down from there, because by making stereotypes, you can kind of find what you want to do with the character. And this is just based off what they probably had narratively for Hulkenberg, which is she was a knight, protector of the prince, yada yada yada. So they got this, but in the end, we ended up with the Hulkenberg that we have in game, which has a much stronger silhouette, a much stronger look, and a way more unique perspective on a knight as a character. But it does start, usually, with a stereotype. That's why ideation is important. So initially, Metaphor was called Project Refantasy. This was, like, the first thing we saw for it. It was way more traditional fantasy, which for Atlus felt kind of weird, right? Because we're very used to the Persona and the SMT games from them, which are more modern, more urban. So seeing something this fantasy from them was probably a little bit jarring. Still, though, it is really interesting to see that they started here and they ended up with, like, a much more, a way less generic, but, like, way more modern concept for the characters. Dog Gallica, look, bestest girl, alright? Will was literally the fool. He looks great. I wish we got the dog companion. I do prefer Gallica. I think that she looks really nice. I get it. It was re-fantasy because they usually do modern. It was re-fantasy because they wanted to reimagine the fantasy genre as what would it be like as a very, very post-apocalyptic world that still very clearly took inspiration from modern humanity, but history circled all the way back around. Isn't it like that quote from Albert Einstein that, like, World War III will be fought with nuclear bombs? I don't know who said that, but World War IV is going to be fought with, like, sticks. Kind of like that. But I think that the circling back around to more modern aesthetics was a good call because it made it more realistic. It kind of sold the idea better. And again, like, look how fantasy it was before, and this is probably some of the first artworks that they made. Hulkenberg was always there. She was there from, like, the onset. Like, this is probably some of the first concept art that they made for the game before they narrowed it down. I think that they definitely knew they wanted something very, like, high fantasy, but it wasn't until later on that they managed to put their own spin on it. Okay, that's kind of precious. Isn't it cute? It's super cute. And, like, again, Will had the Prince's color scheme from the beginning, and they just changed it later on. It's very obviously, like, post-end of the world. Yeah, but, like, in this, you might not be able to tell, though, because it's very stereotypically fantasy. I do like Hulkenberg with short hair. She looks cute, but she looks much younger, and I think they wanted to make her, like, an older character when they actually, like, fully nailed down the concept. This is Will. Yeah, this is Will. Getting very, like, Odin Sphere. My theory that Studio Zero was Vanillaware. I have no idea. I think that, like, the Metaphor team was working on this from, like, what, 2017? It was in development a long time. And usually when stuff is in development for such a long time, the early artwork looks nothing, absolutely nothing like the final product. Because they have to go through a lot of ideas before they whittle it down to what they actually want to do. It's really cute, but very stereotypically fantasy. Yeah, I think that Hulkenberg was, like, one of the earliest designs that they had for characters. Like, look at the party. She's always there. But she was, like, more stereotypically fantasy. Will was blonde. Stroll was a barbarian. Grievous was there. Like, it was a way more gruff-looking party, and, like, Gallica was a dog initially than what we got in the end. So it's really interesting to see, like, what we started with versus what we ended up with. So yeah, I think it's really interesting to note that Hulkenberg was always there. Like, they had someone had a vision of an elf redhead that they refused to let go of. Someone held on to that dream tight and refused to let it go, mama. What has been the concept that you've made the most iterations before having a final you like? An OC you guys have met, but, like, I haven't really made a story for. But, like, usually it's normal to go through a lot of ideation before you land on a final concept. Especially for such big projects, I think. Yeah, like, if you look at this and you look at fucking Metaphor now, it's like, these are completely different games, holy shit. Will used to be a princess! Like, there was a save the princess element to this. Like, they were probably doing a lot of different illustrations to see what they liked, you know? And again, embrace the stereotype initially, but don't cling to it too hard. Like, try and do different things, but start with stereotypes so you can kind of find what you want to do. Because, like, sometimes you'll, like, draw a stereotype and you're like, this might not work, so you start to try different things. Their fate was rewarded. Not only Fatless didn't give her a flat ass. It's okay, I think that the flat ass looks good, though. Like, it fits her silhouette. Character design-wise, the flat ass is a necessity. Otherwise, if you gave her big hips, it would have broken the shape. That's the thing, this would have been every RPG ever made. Yeah, like, they went from every RPG they ever made to, like, something completely unique, and something I've never, like, seen before. Alright, early concept art out of the way, let's move on to the rest of the cast. Minecraft. Borden. My name is Steve. No, this is one of the confidence you get in the game. Thanks for the follow. This is Borden. He has a very similar armor to Hulkenberg because Hulkenberg is a knight also, so, like, obviously they have, like, matching elements. Again, it's stuff that you see in a bunch of different characters that makes this feel like a cohesive fantasy as opposed to just, like, oh, stereotypical. But they were playing with more modern shapes for costume design for this, which I think was a nice touch. His head looks so small. It's gigantically square. It becomes Bond after we kill the demon baby. Yeah, this is a guy that, like, you get the social link later on in the story. He's huge. Yeah, he's gigantic. But most of the elf people in Metaphor were really big, right? So, like... And, like, Borden's cool, because, again, primarily cool color scheme. Similar silhouette as Hulkenberg on the top. Like, the bottom of his outfit does look different. This is just the talk sprite, which tells you a lot about the personality. Like, you don't need to see the full body to kind of see what the character's deal is. I will say this, from this point onwards, getting full body illustrations of everybody was near impossible. Like, I got most of the talk sprites, so we're gonna look at those first, but the full body ones might be kind of low res because there's no art book yet, and so there's, like, no high res images or anything, and without having to, like, dive into my VODs to get the characters, it was really, really difficult to get, like, good quality images of the full bodies, but we're gonna do our best. If anybody finds nice ones, send them to Wave. So yeah, Borden is, like, one of your confidence. He is a man that at a glance you can tell soldier, really responsible, scares the shit out of children because holy shit, look at his head. Definitely, like, a good use of the character design square principle, which is a character that's, like, very stubborn, very headstrong, but very firm in his resolve and convictions. You can also tell that stuff by just playing with shapes, by the way. Like, it's for some reason, it's something that happens with a lot of character design that, like, certain shapes we associate with certain things. And for Borden, square is good. At the same time, though, like, his overall silhouette is not as square. But again, like, with the talk sprites, usually you can tell what the character is about at a glance. So you can, from expression, you can tell that he's nice, but he's kind of no-nonsense. I really like the igniters for all of these. They're super pretty. And it's, like, the first thing you see. The igniters tend to be, like, the brightest pieces of most of the military outfits. Because, again, very muted colors for everything. He doesn't have a very, like, bright hair color or skin color. He almost looks ashy, but he also doesn't look intimidating or mean in the slightest, which I really like. His hair kind of reminded me of Dojima. I mean, it's really short, though. But, like, if you look at him in-game, he has a very stereotypical, like, commander soldier outfit. Again, it's like 18th century military uniforms with some fantasy, with some, 19th, with some fantasy flair, which I love. This one has a brighter color. This was, like, some of the brighter looking characters in Metaphor, because most of them are very muted. This is a very, like, an olivey green. But you can tell where Hulkenberg got her outfit, because the cape that he's wearing is the same one that she has, but unlike Hulkenberg that has, like, just pants underneath that little baby cape, he has, like, a full coat. He's wearing, like, a full set of armor on the bottom. He has a breastplate, but no helmet, nothing super big or bulky, because, like, mobility is key, and they wanted you to be able to see the modern aesthetic. Square, wide, very square. Yeah, no, he holds frame. His entire stance is square, because it's supposed to be a character that's, like, reliable, dependable, and, like, strong. Very wide, but, like, a very nice character, too. And also fuzzy ears. Oh, the character that I'm so sad he wasn't a social link. Batlin, my man, my content brain goat. Batlin is one of my favorite cast members that, like, isn't in the main party, because he is so content brained, it's not even funny. Like, he's literally like, what can I make out of this? How much clout can I get out of this? Oh my god, let's gossip. He looks shrewd. He looks cunning, and, like, the face shape really plays into that, because, like, first of all, nose, giant, love it. Second, he has, like, slightly bigger horns than other Clamars, like, bigger than, like, Stroll's, but, like, his face shape is triangular. Usually, like, triangles, like, convey some intensity, sometimes villainy, sometimes a little bit more of, like, ooh, I don't know about this dude, but, like, he is genuinely the nicest fucking guy. He's just so funny. He's so content brain. If he had an archetype, it would be Bard. Absolutely. Like, missed opportunity to make Batlin a social link. If he had an archetype, he would be the Bard, because it fits him perfectly. He is a crier. He kind of is a Bard, but just not a musical one. He's a fox. He looks foxy. He looks, like, sharp and quick-witted and definitely super smart. For me, Batlin is one of my favorite talk sprites, because it's so expressive. So expressive. Like, you can really see that the dude could make some amazing faces, right? I thought he was gonna be an asshole, but he was, like, a bro. You could tell, for me, I could tell that he was gonna be a bro from the get-go, because he has a very, like, his face almost looks funny. Like, he's almost cartoony. Like, he's disproportionate, but not in a grotesque way. He has just a really, really big nose, very sharp face. And in general, he looks good-natured. Like, he looks like he's just in it for a good time. And he is. Like, he's content brain. He's great. I'm sure Metaphor Golden will fix that. No! And, like, Batlin has very simple drip. For the most part, he's just wearing, like, a pantsuit with and the thing that makes it look more fantasy is the cape, right? So Batlin's fit is similar to Stroll. It's a little bit more 19th century, a little bit less mod 1960s, but they use the same patterns, or very similar patterns, that the 1960s cast members do. So again, everything's cohesive. They use the cape silhouettes from the 1960s. They use the same fantasy elements as everybody else. So there's about 2 or 3 different decades in Metaphor fashion history-wise that they use to great effect, depending on the cast member. Some cast members looked better in the more modern clothes, like Will, and some of them were going to look better in the more old-fashioned fantasy ones, like Batlin and, like, Stroll, that have more 19th century elements. And, like, everyone in the military is going to have the more fantasy, old-fashioned outfits, because it just fits better, right? But if you have a character that's, like, a mage, or a little bit, or, like, main character, or something that's a little bit more, a little bit less military, it is good to go with, like, the more modern silhouettes. But again, they did a really great job. I do believe that the silhouettes that they mainly used was 19th century. I'm not sure of the decade, because I don't know that much about fashion history that far back. They used 1960s and they used 1970s. and everything is just tied together with a nice little fantasy bow up top. You can ask me questions, it's okay. He's not friend-shaped, though. No, Batlin is not friend-shaped. Batlin is using the triangle shape for character design, which is usually infamous, villainous, a little bit more menacing, but not threatening. The thing that makes him less threatening is because how open his expression is. He has big eyes, and he's not super stern in his facial features. And again, he's almost cartoony. You're okay with our characters, at least some of them, just considering the setting that they're in so far. Isn't an issue with Genshin when it comes to Atlanta. Well, I don't really want to talk about Genshin character design right now because I could write a book about that shit. But I can summarize it with this, right? My issue with Natlan's character designs, it's not the diversity, believe it or not. It's the fact that Natlan feels so far off from the rest of Genshin Impact's aesthetic that it might as well be a different game. It's a nation that feels super far apart from everything else that the game has done so far. Like, the fantasy aesthetic has been cut off. And that's it. That's my issue with it. Here it has internal consistency. Yeah, despite the fact that there's like 3 or 4 different historical fashion decades and fantasy elements, it looks cohesive because they use similar color schemes, they use similar patterns, they use similar shapes and silhouettes to great effect. Okay, Edeni. Daddy, baby boy. I love Edeni. Edeni's also, like, aggressively 1960s and 70s, because he has, like, that mod aesthetic. Everyone in the Mustari kind of had, a very, like, 1960s mod aesthetic, and mod is, like, the very loud, patterns with, like, 2 colors, right? So, Edeni is the first Mustari that we get to talk to before Yuffie. This is Yuffie's older brother, if you guys can't see the resemblance. He is the leader of the Mustari tribe, and he has a phenomenal color scheme and play on shapes. His hair is super weird. He has, like, the fucking 70s and 60s mullet. It's like a 60s as fuck haircut, thanks so much for the follow, but made fantasy by length and layering, you know? And his eyebrows are also super weird, but I really like it. He's also wearing makeup. Like, if any character is giving David Bowie, besides Basilio, it's probably Edeni. He has that Goblin King vibe a little bit, but he's really nice though. Hello, brother-in-law. Hello. His mullet has mullets. I love his mullet. It's like electrifyingly good mullet. Literally threatens to kill Will if he mistreats Yuffie. Best big brother. Oh yeah, he like threatened you with violence. Too bad the game doesn't acknowledge it because it happened in a social link. But like, look at how well put together his color scheme is. Unlike Yuffie, who is mostly black and white with like a little pop of color here, Edeni's color scheme is loud. It's so loud. It's one of the brightest in the entire fucking game, but he's not in the main party, which is why it's funny that like he has such a loud and obnoxious color scheme. It's like bright orange and black, right? He's not a villain. He's actually one of the nicest characters here. Eyes are like a beautiful deep red color. But the thing that like that you mainly notice about Edeni is how like intense his gaze is, because the eyebrows are a lot. And like, if you want to make a character have like a very intense set of eyes, one of the coolest tricks you can use is eyebrows and hair color that don't match. I particularly am a fan of dark eyebrows with very light hair. It always looks really striking. He has lightning eyebrows. Yeah, he does. Like, this is the best I could get for, like, Edeni, but, like, he has a slutty, like, fucking bodysuit under the most loud orange cape you will ever see in your life. But you will see where Yuffie, again, they have, like, they're not inverted color schemes because, actually, no, they're not inverted color schemes, but they do have inverted shapes, where Yuffie's very round and friend-shaped and a lot of circles. Edeni's very angular, very squared, very, like, jagged lines. Yuffie's soft, Edeni's really harsh. But I think it looks really good. That is a horse, man. Oh, the outfit is slutty. The outfit is super, super slutty. His armbands also make it obvious that he's a man who works out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they literally have circles and squares in their outfits. This is a fashion style that was kind of coined in the 1960s called mod, which is very loud patterns, oftentimes in black and white, sometimes with just one pop of color, that is basically meant to be really eye-catching. Was that a microwave in the background? Nope. Hi, welcome. Las capas del cabello. Mole upon 50 moles. But yeah, he does look like, the cool thing is that like he definitely looks like he's related to Yuffie, despite the fact that their color schemes are pretty different in the eyes and outfit. Because their skin tone and hair color is the same, and they do have similar features. It's just that Denny has much harsher facial features than Yuffie does. Do you think that the orange worked for him? I think it does. Yeah, I think it looks really nice. And, like, the slutty jewelry, though, like, he looks... That's the fun thing about the Mustari, right? Despite the fact that they use mod patterns, it looks fantasy tribal, which is great. He's judging you. He's judging you hard. But yeah, fantasy tribal with how they use, like, the jewelry and the bodysuit and the fucking crowns and stuff and the staffs. It's all 1960s patterns, but, again, you put a really cool spin on it and it looks like fantasy as shit. You can make fantasy out of anything. You can make fantasy out of a toaster, pineapple, whatever you want. Oh! This was, Lady Juna, I believe. No, not Juna, Joanna. I really like this character. She broke my heart, because it's an absolutely beautiful design. She looks sad, because she is sad, but the design is absolutely fucking gorgeous, and it broke my little baby heart. MILF of sadness. MILF of sadness! Deadass MILF of sadness. Sad feelings again, all of them. Not granny, mother. This is a MILF. Yeah, demon baby mama, yeah. So, believe it or not, this is an antagonist. She doesn't look it, though. She's, like, deceptively sad and soft and like motherly. I really love the rogue face patterns. Like they almost always have really pale skin, almost like marble like, but they always put patterns on the face. This is a character that like looks noble, has a very kind expression, but you can see sadness in her eyes, and like the face shape plays a lot in that. The way that you like shape facial features, like the eyebrows are turned down, the eyes are turned down also, but they're big. Her lips are like pouty, but she's like barely smiling. It's really subtle things that you do when you're like designing a character if you want to show off a specific emotion as a unit, not like just as one expression. Shapes are helpful with that, and the droops almost always like give you sadness. Like her hair is droopy also. It's not a severe hairstyle. Everything like line wise, it all droops down. It all feels like very sad. Like it's a sense of flow that's like very like melancholic almost. And like, oh god, game. Her outfit, like if you guys can get me better pictures, just send them to Wave or send them to me. But yeah, like everything about her is like just very smooth sense of flow. There are good patterns in her clothes. Like she looks like a wilting sunflower, and I think that's by design. Like she's subdued, she's kind of sad. She has a very bright color scheme, which is funny because like she's a pretty sad character, but I think that's because it's meant to be deceiving. Definitely. She's one of my favorite character designs in this game for the NPCs, because of how like deceptively well put together the character is. If you look closer and if you have full context, it looks like a wilting flower. She looks deflated, she looks like droopy and sad. But like at a glance, it's like, oh, it's just a noble woman that's like very refined and elegant and pretty and demure. But if you know, you know. I don't remember your name. I don't remember your name, but you fucking died and it was funny. You're a Clemar and you're mean. Captain Klinger. Klinger, like, fucking clinging a booger. Like, this is, again, with the guys, they were able to do way more, like, exaggerated facial features than they do with women, usually. His name is Baby Food. Gerber. Oh, you can, don't worry about it later. Again, yeah, this is one of the first characters that you meet. He does have a talk sprite. You meet him back later on in the game. This is like, tell me you don't see this dude and think this is a bad guy. This is a bad guy, or like, this is like either a bad guy or someone you don't want to deal with, because he looks difficult, right? Like, his face is very like, ugh. Like, he looks like he's judging you. His eyes are really deep set. It has, like, tiny fucking irises. Like, the fucking, really, really, like, protruding nose. He's round, but he's not friend-shaped because, like, everything else about the character is pretty angular. Like, his clothes are, like, nothing fits right. He looks, like, weird, you know? He has goon face shape. He has a weird face shape. And he has, like, pompous hair, and he doesn't look pleasant. He looks like a man that's not good-natured, and, like, that's by design. And you can still do that because you know what? There is a square hidden in there. You might think that, like, his shape is like a circle at a glance, but, like, there is square stuff hidden in there. Everything about the character is just off-putting. Look at him. He looks like a fucking dill hole. It's the same uniform. The same uniform that Grius is wearing, but it doesn't fit him. At all. It looks really bad because he's not supposed to be wearing it. Like, he looks out of place. He looks like he's going to fucking try and trick you into something. Because he does. Because he is. Bad guy. Bad guy. Because he's fat and mean. He looks like one of those bosses that you absolutely hate dealing with. Yeah, he looks like a fucking annoying boss. Deadass. Oh. Hold on, where's my shaman go? Hold on. Daddy. Gimme. Okay, so you guys, like, questionable taste in men aside, I do think that out of all of the antagonists that Atlus has made, I think Louise might be my favorite. He's great. We doomed their reality once. Good, stick with it. When you kill thousands, LMAO, bottom tags. I love Louise. Louise is such a good antagonist across the board. Like, not only is he a massive Giga Chad, he's, like, cartoonishly evil and has no qualms about it. But let's talk about the design, because I'm getting sidetracked. Louise is, like, a great use of an antagonist that looks angelic to the point of being off-putting. He's so beautiful, and he's wearing, like, all white and gold, and it looks, like, regal and gorgeous, but, like, look at his face. And he is sinister. Absolutely fucking sinister. So, when you're making antagonists, right, a lot of people like to default to darker colors, because usually we associate dark colors with, like, evil, but Louise is great because he is cartoonishly evil, but in his mind, his intentions are good. He's using mainly triangular and very angular shapes, which are menacing, they're very threatening, but he moves really well. It's a very imposing figure, and I really like that they decided to go with a pure white color scheme because it's someone that in his mind he can do no wrong, and he knows exactly what he's doing, but we all know. He has an incredibly intense expression. He's absolutely beautiful and he knows it, but something about him feels weird. Something about him feels wrong, feels threatening, feels menacing. He dresses because he thinks he's a hero. Exactly. It tells you a lot about his personality at a glance, that he thinks that he is God's gift to this earth and his shit don't stink and he's made of gold. When in reality, he is incredibly fucking misguided to the point that he would doom everyone for his own selfish gains. It's a great antagonist because it has no qualms about being cartoonishly evil. That's why I like him so much. Like, usually with Atlus games, you have, like, an antagonist that the game sets up for you, and then at the very last minute, they fucking pull the rug from under your feet and they make you fight God. Not in Metaphor. Louise is your antagonist throughout the entirety of the game. All of it. All of the game. He's just there, a presence. Even when he's not wearing his coat, you can tell that he's, like, super imposing. Because he has really wide shoulders. So, like, let's talk a little bit about shapes. Now we talked about color. Pure white color, like, very heroic, very angelic, but he doesn't feel that way. But with shapes, and the reason why is because of the way that they use the shapes. He's using a lot of triangles, really wide shoulders, really imposing figure. A lot of little baby sharp elements here and there that a heroic figure might not have, usually. Louise getting bait and switch for God would undercut his entire character massively. He had to be the enduring antagonist. Oh yeah, he was there until, like, the very bitter end of the game. And again, everything about his design in every iteration of the character is imposing. It's threatening. Every time this dude is on screen, I got nervous. And not just because daddy, I got nervous because it's like, oh, he's gonna tear you apart. Like, he looks incredibly menacing. Like, that dude has, like, a 13-incher and he's gonna use every inch of it. Every inch of it. Prepare thy bussy, okay? Like, You're not surviving the night. But it's a beautiful design, and everything about him is larger than life. Even the horns are much bigger than your average Clemar, because he's not a Clemar, he's just pretending, but he wants people to think that he's hot shit. And boy, does he look it. He has like the 1,000-yard dagger stare. Oh, he looks like he hates you, and his 3D model looks awful. Like, this is his concept art. Look at him. He looks like he hates you. Like, holy shit, I despise every inch of your being. It's an incredibly intense gaze, and they did that with like eye shape alone. Oh, judge me harder, daddy. Disdain. Oh, I love it so much. It's so fucking beautiful. The sword is phenomenal, like, but everything about his design is really good. It's a triangle, and a really, really hard triangle composition-wise. He has a huge fucking cape. Even Stroll mentions that he doesn't like wearing that much regalia because it's so heavy, which tells you how strong this dude is.
Literally same vibes as Sephiroth.
I think that he's a little bit more imposing than Sephiroth to me, because he's so angelic, it's fucking off-putting. And like, he thinks he's a big hero, and it's really like, oh no. But they gave him a really intense gaze, and they did that through two things: eye shape and eye color. They gave him really, really like really deep set eyes. His eyes are hooded. He doesn't have like a really round eye shape, like it's actually almost flat on the top, and that really helps sell the intensity of his gaze. That, but also incredibly confident character too. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous character. Piece of shit. We love him though. He gives very much as like, I believe everyone should be equal as long as it's I'm above them all. Yeah, like his energy is I am better than you. .com.org, but it's okay, you'll thank me for it. Before we move on, the next two images are endgame spoilers, so be warned if you haven't played Metaphor yet, these are like final boss spoilers, deadass. Was the sword that long in the game? No. I think that this was just in here for dramatic effect, for like showing gesture work and kind of like how the character would look, how it would act. Oh, God. Allow me to be aggressively straight for a moment. This iteration of Louise, you fight him once, I think. I need my triangle, hold on. Like, look at it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Again, this one shows off way more how sinister the character actually is, because this one is underneath the regalia, the pure white clothing, the angelic features. There is a demon in there. There is a fucking menace to everything that is alive underneath all of that. This is like naked fucking Louise. Much darker. You can see like darkness creeping up on him, while at the same time it has some very divine features. He has horns now, dead ass. Like, it's very much like a perfect play, like an allegory of a divinity, right? I wish I could show you guys the full form of this fucker, because it's actually really, really long. Because he's above you. He wants to stay above you. But I like that we went from a predominantly very warm color scheme, very like heroic, very bright, to dark, moody, very, very threatening. It's giving Sin Eater, but like from Final Fantasy XIV, but a little bit darker and a little bit more like, ugh. I definitely would not like to cross this creature, if that makes sense. It's very beautifully though, like, it's eerily beautiful. That's how I would describe this version of Louise. It's a demon posing as an angel. That's exactly what he is. Yeah. And again, he's stuck as your main antagonist throughout the entirety of the game. Thanks so much for the follow. Yeah, if I showed the full form, he would not fit in here. And then, I'm not going to show the first phase because I don't want to. And then this is the very last form of Louise you fight. This is Louise after he's lost the plot. But like, can we talk about how cool this boss design is? Because he still, after all of that, he still sees himself as like a god, as an angel, as like, I'm supporting every tribe by making them equal. The interesting thing about this boss is that every fucking race's eye is on those wings. I cannot wait for there to be an official art book of this so I can actually take a good look at how they put this boss together, because it's insane. Every race is represented on this boss by the eyes, right? Because that's all he sees. He just sees like how he's above everybody else. he still thinks he's angelic, he still thinks he's divine, but there's something so twisted about this and so like that when I first saw this, I had to like take a minute to like I had to jump right into the fight, obviously, but I was also like, holy shit, that's a amazing design. Still a wood for you, Lily? Absolutely, baby. Biblically accurate Lewis. Yeah, like there's some like Christianity themes hidden in here. Like he was like the devil with 3 faces, which is something that shows up in Dante's Inferno. He is an angel with like what? How many pairs? Like 4 pairs of wings, like a fucking Giga Seraphim. Like there's a lot of really cool symbolism from Catholicism and from a lot of different cultures in Metaphor ReFantazio, and I think that Louise is the perfect like allegory of the devil, right? An incredibly beautiful creature, but cunning, deceptive, cruel, and very self-absorbed. It's an amazing character through the entirety of the game, mind you, not just the boss, and he persevered the entire time. This was the guy we had to basically gank from the get-go, never switched bosses, never pulled an RPG. Hi, gotcha, bitch, it's a god that you have to fight now. No, it was always just this fucker. Always this guy. And I love that for Atlas. I love that so much. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the other NPCs now. This is Loveless. This is another Parapus, similar to Basilio, but with much bigger ears. Again, the Parapus had a very 1970s aesthetic. This is like very love child, very hippie, very pretty. This dude is a giant drunk, by the way. Does he look like no. He looks like, oh my god, peace and love. No, drunk, giant drunk, all the time drunk. Beautiful color scheme, very muted, but like still very colorful, pretty. It kind of like had like the, you know, flower child vibes of the 1970s, but if you looked at the full thing, you would see a decent amount of fantasy elements in there as well. His hair is everything, and like most Parapus, they have very bright eyes. Stupidly deep voice too. Oh yeah, like in the voice cutscenes, it's like, wait, you sound like this? People think that he was gonna sound like super girly, but no, he sounds actually pretty, very deep voice. Hippie vibes, but like drunk hippie. To him, every hour is happy hours. BB. Yeah, his igniter is on his necklace. Very subtle. A lot of acid and stuff. Oh yeah. We were under the influence a lot.
Lily, I want to ask a question. Would you recommend this game to a person who enjoys good stories and good character growth?
Yes.
I've been trying to figure out what game to get for my PlayStation to play while I play Xenoblade X.
I would highly recommend Metaphor because it won Best Narrative in last year's Game Awards, and it has an amazing story, and the characters grow on you a lot. Like, I do think that Metaphor is a good game to pursue if you want a strong narrative and strong character growth. Okay, yeah, super hippie, right? But, like, he also fights with, like, a harpoon. He has, like, his belt, his shirt is, like, wide open, super long tail, too. Yeah, he looks like a hippie. He looks like a hippie. He looks likable. He's like perma-drunk most of the time. All in all, a very decent character. Great use of like the 70s patterns on the shirt, but like nowhere else. Only the shirt is super loud, and I think that's great. Mother! Okay, so I had like the debate for the longest time with like hubby of, is she a fox or is she a cat? I think she's a cat. I thought she was a fox because of the tail, but I think we got to the consensus that she's a cat, because the ears are cat-like, alright? So it's a cat. Not a fox! The ears are too tiny to be fox! Like, those are too small to be a fox. She's an absolutely gorgeous character, though. Like, this is Grios' second wife. Her name is Fabienne. She is a MILF, and she is absolutely fucking gorgeous. You see her a few times in the game. Sadly, though, she does not have a social link, which is really funny because she has everything she needs for one, but she doesn't actually have one. I want you guys to, like, notice how, like, fucking sad her face is, but unlike Joanna, who was like, I gave up, Fabienne has, like, a very quiet determination to her gaze that Joanna did not have. Like, Joanna was, like, insane, delusional. Like, this one's more like, I am sad, but I am determined. Because you know what? She has a fucking child to raise. Common law wife. Still wife! Very, very nice, soft shapes in the hair. Small ears. All in all, it's very easy on the eyes. It's very easy to follow. The eyes are bright, but they're not overly so. Most Parapus have really, really bright eyes, but, like, Fabiana's, like, just yellow. Very, very pretty. They still fucked, though. Absolutely they did. I guess you can consider her social link being linked with baby girls. Yeah, probably. I would have liked it if she had her own, though. Yeah, they still have short ears, but like I think that like she is a cat. But like her outfit though is fucking great because she's wearing like the milfiest dress on the planet with like a really big bow on the tail. And the thing that makes it really fantasy is all of the lace detailing on the sleeves. Not to mention she has like bright green tights and boots, right, which look really nice. And again, she fits the aesthetic of the rest of the cast while still not having armor or other fantasy accessories. Like, they just do little subtle things with the patterning and the fact that she's like an animal person. So this is like a subtle take on the fantasy thing without going like full-fledged like, oh my god, look at the fantasy tavern keeper. She still has like a very like 1960s, 70s silhouette, but still is fantasy. I stand corrected, she looks so much like a cat. Doesn't she? It's a cat! Chat, it's a cat with like a fluffy tail. It's not a fox. If looks could kill. She's beautiful. I really like that half of her face isn't shown either. It just makes her look like alluring and mysterious. Like a ragdoll cat. It's like just a very foofy cat. Do cats have fluffy tails? Some of them do, yeah. Her full name literally means Fabienne Arctic Fox. Who cares? I say cat. My word is law. Where's my... Oh, my gavel is all the way over there. Anyway, my word is law. Hold on. Baby, can you bring me my gavel? Oh my god, thank you. I need it. I need my gavel, thank you. I feel bad for, like, my grandpa if he's around, if he hears this. I declare that Fabienne is a fox. Cat. Leave me alone. Cat. Feline. I don't care about her name. She's a cat. I'm not gonna bunk you guys. I have my gavel. Motion pass. Yeah! It's a cat. You said fox, no Texas. No, I said cat. Fuck you. You turned into a cat all of a sudden. There you go. But yeah, Fabienne is great. Beautiful design, beautiful face, beautiful dress. No notes. It's a cat. Fuck you. Baby girl. Okay, so most Atlas games have at least like one child character that's like a social link. I would fucking move heaven and earth for this child. I love her so much. She's so cute. She is generally the cutest thing in this game. She's cuter than Gallica, I don't care. But I would do anything for this creature. A baby. She's like the sweetest fucking thing. And she is so round and so cute and so soft and like pink and look, they really nailed it with this character because like I look at her and I see pure thing that I must protect at all costs, and that's kind of what the game wants you to think too. Like the game wants you to want to protect and encourage Maria, and they do a great job of doing it. Shape language is very friend shaped, very round, very nice little sense of flow. She's a half breed. She's like half Grius, half her mom, which is like one of the bird people. So she has like one little baby pair of wings that wiggle when she's happy, which are super cute. You can see them poking out the back of the dress there, but in a very subtle way. They're not very loud about it. But the cool thing about her is that she has a predominantly very soft color scheme. You would think that it's bright because you see pink and you're like, oh god, it's like, no, it's actually not super hard to look at. She has a lot of color, but like it's colors that they look good because of the use of repetition, right? And there's a lot of patterns there too, but everything kind of ties in together. It's not easy to make patchwork quilt stuff like this, but since it's like an aesthetic in itself, I can see why they decided to go with this, because they wanted it to look very whimsical and innocent and sweet, and they really did nail it with Maria. But again, it's all in the face. She has such a precious face, giant eyes, really soft little eyebrows, tiny baby pouty lips, round, soft hair. Like, her hair looks wispy. Like, it looks like if you touch it, it's the softest thing imaginable. Little flower crown. Like, everything about Maria, it just inspires protect. It's a very innocent character. Like, she's the sweetest thing, yeah. And you feel super awful when her dad fucking bites the big one at the start of the game. And look at her. Like, little girl in a fantasy setting, the thing that sells it for me is the little bloomers. Like, her little baby shoes and the little, like, bloomers, right? Because, like, in fantasy settings, undergarments weren't like they are now. They're usually, like, shifts and stuff. So, like, the little baby bloomers just really sell it. The patchwork query, like, a lot of repetition in the outfit, which is what makes it work, I think, for me. And there's just, like, one really bright pink, and that's it. Everything else is, like, muted, neutral tones, almost. Very sweet, very soft, and you will see no hard angles on this character whatsoever. Absolutely none. Because they want her to be soft and approachable and cute and innocent. Pantaloons, haha, your dad is dead. Mean, mean. Is her dress made out of rags or is that a style? It's a style, it's called patchwork. It's kind of like mix and matching patterns together, but in a way that tends to work because of the use of color and repetition. Thanks so much for the follow. Okay, so we have Dell, angry baby boy. This is Basilio's brother, right? He's a manlet. He's tiny. So Basilio's a little bit more cat-coded. Fidelio's a little bit more cat-coded than Basilio. He has like Scottish fold ears. His eyes are huge, unlike Basilio, which has smaller, very bright eyes, but his eyes are yellow. He's very similar, yeah. Like, he doesn't look approachable. He looks like he would bite your ankles. And he's older, yeah, he's older. He looks older because his face is a little bit more stern, but, like, he looks like an ankle biter, and he has no patience for you. Not even a little bit. Right up until the end, he has no patience for you. But he still, like, comes around eventually. Very cat-coded, very sweet. He's almost, like, he's not a pink thing, but he's almost there. Because it's very muted, right? It's like, again, we're using fantasy colors, but we're not making them obnoxious, right? We're not making the eyes tired, and I think for Metaphor that makes sense because the game has a very dark tone, so they kind of have to keep the color scheme in mind with doing that. Like, the color scripting for Metaphor is very, like, desaturated, which I think fits. And Dell is also, like, aggressively 90s, 60s, 70s coded. He barely has fantasy elements. Barely. Like, he is deadass in, like, a suit for most of the game. The thing that makes him look more like a fantasy character is the fact that, A, animal ears, and B, he's around people that have a similar sense of style. Like, Will has a similar outfit, so he doesn't look super out of place anyway. I do think that he has a bag or stuff like that you usually see on his sprite when he's around, but, like, in the ship, sometimes they were just, like, not wearing, they were wearing casual clothes, so it didn't really matter. His appearance makes me forget that he has a grown man voice. Yeah, he looks like a manlet, but, like, he talks and it's not, but, like, again, it's a very nice, design, because it's not as, like, it doesn't stand out as much as Will's if you look at it, because, like, their silhouettes are very similar. He doesn't stand out as much, but he still fits. It's still cohesive. Dad, father, more, giantspoiler.com.org. I love this design. So, More for me has, like, a very similar silhouette to Hulkenberg, but different, because it's a lot more gothic. He looks more refined. He has shiny fabric. There's, like, no regalia. It's, like, very elegant, right? He has, like, his little, like, beret. It looks artistic. He looks like a moody writer. Also cat. Also cat thing, baby, which Juna kept the cat. Fun fact. Yeah, Plato's here too, because it's, like, his cat, but, like, Juna kept it. I mean, this is literally, this is the protag's dad, deadass, but, like, a weird younger version. So pretty, so mysterious, so, like, sad looking, but it's a great silhouette because it's very similar in shape to Hulkenberg, but it's not as severe. He's, like, way more droopy, way softer, way more, like, smooth. Like, you can definitely tell that this dude is an intellectual at a glance because of how he carries himself. And it's, like, fantasy, fucking leather goth almost. It's a great fit. The long hair really sells it, too. Like, the long hair makes him look very noble, but the beret makes him look like, let's go to a coffee shop and read poems. Look at that. Look at how beautiful his face is. He's also a Clemar, so he has, like, tiny little baby horns. But the cool thing about his outfit is just, like, it's, like, very gothic. Very, very gothic. Not at all, like, nobility, but it's still very regal. Like, his pants go right into his shoes. Those are, what you guys don't know is those are, like, boot pants. Boot pants. And they just go all the way up. Like, he stuffed himself in that catsuit, deadass. David Bowie. There's a lot of David Bowie looking characters in this game. This is the concept art for more. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous guy. Absolutely fucking beautiful. And yeah, like, I think that what they wanted to go for was they didn't want to do something like Igor in Persona. They wanted something a little bit more regal. But I definitely really liked what they did with More as a character. He was very helpful. But I won't lie, there was a moment in this beginning of the game that I was like, ooh, I don't trust you. Maybe bad guy, because he doesn't look morally... He looks morally gray. He doesn't look like a completely good guy or a completely bad guy. Like, he could have gone either way. At first, I thought that this was going to be the god that I was going to have to fight in the end, but thankfully, Metaphor proved me wrong in the best way possible, and it also made me, like, regret being like, oh yeah, like, Will should bone that one. No, don't. They're related. But, like, I didn't actually catch the twist until the very, like, near the end of the game, so they did a really good job subverting expectations for your guide character. And I finished his social link really quickly. Like, you don't really find out a ton about more until later, but, like, the cool thing about his outfit is, again, same silhouette as Hulkenberg, but more refined, more elegant, and that's just in the use of fabric alone, and some elements like the longer hair that was like way more smooth, because Hulkenberg's hair is very wide, smaller ears, a little baby horns, the beret, everything about him just kind of looks like refined and smart and like a goth, like a Clemar goth. Preventing that spoiler reveal was stressful. I didn't catch it until I saw like the shape of the horns, and I was like, oh. But yeah, Moore has a great design too. Very simple, but very elegant and very efficient. Sometimes simple is better. They gave him glasses that they didn't actually end up sticking with, but I think it looks better without them. Oh, look at the cat. His book, his expressions. This is a character design that I'm never gonna forget because I feel like he would be very easy to draw. Like, it's just like his little cape and his boot pants, and that's it. And he also has, like, a little gay orb triangle thing that he rides. And this is his sad old man form. This is the king. This is King Kithlodaeus. This is Will's dad. Who is, you don't see him a ton until, like, the late game. But you can definitely see their resemblance to Moore if you look closely. They age the character enough that you won't catch it's Moore until they show him in the end. Like, I think that's why they were, like, avoiding showing his face for so long. But, like, the thing I like, though, is that you can very clearly tell it's the same person because the horn shape, the hair is the same. But he looks, rightfully so, like a fool king. When they gave Will that crown, I was like, do we want that crown? That crown makes you look stupid. Like, this is a guy that, at a glance, you can tell has lost all hope. He's just dead gone. Like, mentally, he's not there anymore. He's lost everything. He looks so defeated. His entire fucking shape language is a slump. All of it. Like, oh, look at your stupid crown because you're a stupid dumb fucked and you screwed up, and then slump. That's it. It goes right down to slump. Like, he looks like a sad monkey, and he is a sad monkey, and it's a great... And, like, he also looks lifeless. His skin color is super ashy. There's, like, barely any warm undertone underneath there, and I think that was on purpose. The crown seems like it would fall very easily. It's supposed to be like the Fool's King crown almost. Like, I think that by design they made the crown really goofy because it makes him look foolish. It doesn't make him look regal like he's in charge. He looks like a fool, like a puppet king. And that's on purpose because that is dead ass what happened to him. It almost looks like a gesture house. Exactly. He looks like he played himself because he did. Oh, creature. I am so mad. I am so mad that we got fucking robbed of the fucking Alonso creature. Because, like, holy shit, this rat man put me through the ringer emotionally. Alright, chat, wave, play the clip. Thanks so much for the sub. Yay! That man made me rage. He made me angry. He made me viscerally upset. I had to leave the room, but I love this character. Like, everything about Alonso makes me feral. I love the hair color. I love his expression. I love his outfit, the bowler hat. He looks like an asshole because he is an asshole. And again, the character designer succeeded in making a character, a piece of clothing that would look a little bit more modern, old-fashioned maybe, but modern, feel like it belongs in a fantasy setting. It's so good. And you know why? Because they use really weird colors. Because, like, Alonso has, like, really, like, weird colors, and, like, his hair is, like, bright blue, and he has, like, the bright blue Nydia eyes, but, like, they also use, like, some really loud bits here and there, like orange and red. Colors that you think wouldn't really go that well together, like, as a unit, but they do work. It looks really nice. Too bad we never saw his real form. I feel cheated. I needed the creature! But the thing that makes him look like a con artist, I think, for me, it's like the expression in the hat, like the little bowler hat that makes him look like a right fucking dick. Like, I don't know, man. I love Alonso as a character, and the design is also really good. He does not at all look intimidating, but he looks like he's gonna steal your wallet, and he probably succeeded. Yeah, I'm hoping that there's a proper art book because I will buy it so fast. And again, like, you sell the fantasy aesthetic by just adding little elements to the clothing that you would not expect to see, like the pleats in the front of the coat, the red buttons, the gloves, the, like, little very old-fashioned necktie with a jacket that's more modern and a more modern suit, the bowler hat. It's just like how you play with the elements that kind of ties it all together. And even though, again, he doesn't have, like, armor or weapons, he still looks like he belongs in the metaphor world because of the way that he's dressed. Because everybody else has a similar sense of fashion here. Mother. Okay, yeah, no, Brigida is definitely one of my favorites. Like, a bunch of these have, like, really extended talk sprites, which makes me wonder if they were, like, meant to be party members originally. So, like, Grius was our rogue party member, but I consider Brigida an extension because you talk to her a lot. She is one of the best social links in the game, and she gives you the best archetype, my favorite archetype, the thing that lets you literally throw money, throw critical attacks with money. Like, are you out of magic power? No problem. Throw money at the problem. And in later game, dude, you can grind. Queen, queen, queen. Yeah, a beautiful color scheme. One of my favorite things is a character with a really dark skin tone, but with really light hair. It almost always looks amazing because of contrast. She also has a phenomenal outfit. One of the more fantasy ones, I think, in the series, while still retaining very modern silhouettes. But she uses a lot of, like, straight lines and very angular shapes to kind of, like, show off a more, like, delicate fantasy vibe, you know? She solves problems with money. She does. And, like, the shapes that are under her eyes are also present in points in her jacket. In the back of her jacket has, like, those patterns. Her hairstyle is really severe. Like, she looks like a very no-nonsense character, and you would not be wrong. But, like, she has one of the stronger fantasy silhouettes in the female cast because of how they put together the patterns for her outfit. Look at her. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, there's barely any color on Brigida except for, like, the bright pop of blue of the back of her jacket, which makes her look very regal. It's an outfit that, like, if I saw it on a runway, on a fashion show here, like, on your fucking human planet, I would be like, yeah, that looks really cool, but for a fantasy character, it fits really well, too. And they used a lot of really cool patterns for that. It's patterns that you will see repeated on a lot of different characters in the series. Like, Batlin also had a lot of those straight lines. Rella does, too. A lot of the people in Sanctism have patterns like that as well. And it just kind of, like, ties it together. Very cohesive, very pretty. That's a really high waist. Oh, they really like high waists in Metaphor. High-waisted pants makes it look fancier. But, like, a lot of, like, details that definitely tie it into fantasy. Oh, pig thing. Pig. Where is it? Like, Mom! I love Katharina. I made my avatar for Metaphor Katharina because I saw her and I was like, that is a dream in pink, mama. She has one of my favorite outfits because despite the fact that it is pretty asymmetrical, I think that they tied it together really well. She is also one of the more classic fantasy characters in this game. She's not wearing a ton of conventionally modern outfits. Like, most modern thing about her is, like, her sports bra under her armor and the baby short shorts. But, like, she's wearing a breastplate. She has, like, a big fucking medallion tying her cape together. She has, like, the headband thing. She also has, her undies are, like, partly metal. We got Basilio instead of her. Like, it makes sense, but at the same time, it makes me kind of sad because I really like Katharina's look. It's absolutely beautiful. She also has one of the brighter color schemes for social links you can get. In general, like, she doesn't just have a pop of color. She's, like, bubblegum pink. It's great. With really bright eyes. But, like, it fits her personality because you're, like, she's very, like, spunky and sassy, and she tries to kick your ass, like, 3 times. It's great. Wait, is that a chastity belt? No! No, I think it's just, like, partly the, She's wearing bikini armor. She's deadass wearing bikini armor. She just put shorts over it. Yeah, it's always literally bikini armor that they put shorts over. Like, if she takes those off, that's, like, deadass a piece of bikini armor. Armor to panties. Does this count as bikini armor? Technically, yes. Yeah, I would count that as bikini armor, but it's very well-designed bikini armor. It's like, it doesn't look like impractical bikini armor, if that makes sense. It just looks cool. Those must ride up like hell. It's a thong. It can't ride up if it's already up. A rogue. She's the pugilist class. She's the punchy class. And you can tell at a glance that she is. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. She also kind of looks like she belongs in the circus in the best way possible. Fun fact, those actually are the same pair of boots, just one of them is unbuttoned. It has like, and again, the costume designers for Metaphor really thought the garments through construction-wise, which a lot of people tend to overlook that. Of how would this piece of clothing be put together, right? Some people just think like, well, this looks cool, so I'll just do this, but...
4 months. BAYB.
Baby, thanks so much for the sub. But if you really think about how a piece of clothing is put together, it will help with your design, because that way you can deconstruct it comfortably. I hope that they break convention and bring her back as a party member from a faraway land for a Metaphor 2. I hope so too, because she was a great character, a bit of a wasted potential though, because she had so much good shit going for her, and they just like, just social link, boom. What are your thoughts on the asymmetrical legs? I don't actually mind them in this case because it's a balanced asymmetry. Like, the boots are actually the same boots, she just rolled one of them down. The socks have different patterns, but they're the same shade of pink throughout. Her shorts are symmetrical, her top is symmetrical, the cape isn't, and the glove isn't, but like, they're on opposing sides, so it's balanced. Symmetry as a character design trait, it's not a bad thing, you just have to know how to use it. It's like a spice. And with Katharina, who's a very, like, rough around the edges character, I think that the use of asymmetry helps sell the image of someone who would, hit you over the head with a bottle in a bar fight. A little bit, yeah. To be fair, she did show up to fight you in the dungeon. She does, yeah, she actually helps out a little bit, but not much. And yeah, like, it has, like, a very, like, circus aesthetic, but, like, for the most part, it's a balanced asymmetry, which is why it doesn't really bother me that much. And again, she's one of the few characters that doesn't fit entirely into the clothing conventions of the rest of the cast, but she does have the same fantasy elements that you do see throughout the game, so it fits. Also, giant ears. Yes, I had a really hard time placing what the fuck Katharina was. Was it a fox or was it a horse? What was it? Who cares? Pig thing. But there is also enough symmetry in this character that it really does not feel off-putting that she has so many asymmetrical elements. Oh, gay. So, Zorba actually has, 2 looks. You start out meeting him like this. Tell me that this isn't, like, goth boyfriend. Asshole. Oh, dill hole. You can tell he's an antagonist immediately. Look at that. Gay, gay, deleted gay. Like, this is, hi, gay. Oh my god. He's very pretty, and then he speaks and it's like, whoa. I love his color scheme, though, because when you normally think of a villainous character, this is it. This is the color scheme. It's black and purple and, like, pale skin. Louise, as an antagonist, it works for me because it's a complete, like, flip over the head of what, like, a villain normally looks like. But Zorba is, like, very, like, stereotypically villainous in his color scheme and design. It's also, like, giving, like, late 70s glam, like, rock star, like, I am shirtless and it's everybody's problem. He is a Scottish man, aggressively Scottish man. He is also a half-breed. He is half Clemar, half Mustari. Giant horn, but only one. Visually, he kind of reminds me of, like, Belial from Gremlin Fantasy. He gives me Dio gay evil. Like, yeah, he's very, like, he's also obsessed with Louise. So the high gay comparisons, they're not, I didn't just, like, say that because he kind of looks like he fits that stereotype. He is obsessed with the antagonist. But he looks great. Again, very stereotypical villain vibes here. He's wearing, like, a fucking mesh top. Like, a mesh tank top, like, with fucking thorns all over the sleeves. And the thorn pattern comes up with him a lot. It's on his horns also, and you can see it in his, like, boss fight later. Very, like, sharp, very angular, very dark and broody, and, like, glamorous, but at the same time, you're an asshole. So this is what Zorba looks like later on in the game. He does have a boss fight where he becomes, like, half a monster. The thorns come back in the monster form because, like, they go into his hair. But the horn is much bigger, the eye is open, and this is a character that went from, like, hi gay to, oh, menacing gay. Oh, okay. Oh, hi, hello, could you not? Like, it's a great take on the character. Look, this is what he looks like mid-boss fight. His hair is insane, his eye is bloodshot, he has, like, veins coming out of it everywhere. It's, like, half a monster, it's super menacing. The design is, like, very jagged, and the sense of flow is chaotic because, like, it's definitely an oh shit moment when you meet this character. So the design having such a like jagged sense of flow fits really well because it's meant to be off-putting, it's meant to be chaotic, it's meant to be like, ah, because you're fighting this dude and he's just yelling at you. Dead ass. Ew, but cool. It's an amazing design. It really is one of my favorite bosses in the game. It looks really, really good. Also, teeth. What the fuck did he do to himself? I think it was partly him, partly Louise. But case in point, though, it definitely fits the aesthetic of the monsters in Metaphor, while at the same time being distinctly a like humanoid character. A very, very good design. A very, very good antagonist. Not as like beautiful and like oh as Louise, but like that's on purpose. Smarting! This is one of the other side characters that you meet throughout the game. Like, this is like Heismay. She's like the same species, but her eyes and ears aren't as big. She's just very round, very friend-shaped, very cute. It's like a rat in overalls chat. It's so adorable! Lily-sized creature. She's so cute. Yeah, Lena is the cutest. She's just like, I just want to build gauntlet runners. Yay, rat engineer. She looks like an engineer. Yeah. From a glance, she looks like an engineer. She's wearing similar clothes to like, it's a fit that would not be out of place next to Nora's, but at the same time, it's like girlier. It's super cute because she has like her little red scarf around the neck with like the igniter at the throat, like the big eyelashes, the cute little tufts of hair. Like, you didn't see it, but she's a boss fight in the arena. Oh shit. She has to be a party member on the DLC. I highly doubt that she would be a party member, but like maybe you will get a social link. She's very cute. This is what she looks like, literally Tinkaton coded. Her little baby pants, like, it's a very simple outfit, just like Heismay had a really simple outfit, but unlike Heismay, she does have pants. And again, it's feminine through, like, the color and shapes of, like, the necktie. It's very cutesy. Like, this is a character that, like, you can't really tell it's a girl, but they don't do the Disney thing where they, like, give the girl rabbit, like, simulated boobs. They just make the clothes a little bit more feminine, and they make sure that the face is more feminine, if that makes sense. Like, nothing fucking kills me more, like the World of Warcraft meme, which is, like, orc, and it's, like, a giant hulking green monster, and then girl orc, and it's like, oh, so demure, so pretty, woman with green skin and a tiny fang. No. They kept the designs for the tribes pretty consistent throughout. Like, they all look the same, despite the gender differences. And eyelashes. She's delightful. I love her. Oh, beautiful. This man got hit with, like, the hardest roast in the game. Thanks, Yufa. Thank you, Yufa. This is Milo. His igniter is that rose. And this is, if you see him and you think fucking self-obsessed Fabio, you would be right. You would be very right. This is a dude that's so up himself. And he looks so annoying and obnoxious and fancy. He's one of the bird people. He's in a Shikia. You can't see his wings in this one, but, like, you can tell the races from distinctive eye, facial features and eye markings, and, like, the bird people all have those markings. Like, he is an absolute dill hole. Absolutely, he looks like a dill hole. And, like, Yufa's like, you say you're beautiful, but, like, I fail to see what's beautiful about you. And it's like, oh, baby girl. I do like Milo, though. I think that there isn't a single cast member in Metaphor ReFantazio that I dislike aesthetically. They all fit so well. But yeah, he has, like, his wings, but, like, he has two pairs also, but they're, like, soft purple. And again, they did a really good job not making the wings feel bulky. They made them really skinny and pretty, and they also, like, make them hugging the waist, so they don't really get in their way, right? Like, they're not imposing, they don't, like, break silhouette. So, it fits really, really well. This dude was, like, annoying. Ugly as shit, but great color scheme and really good design overall. More modern jacket, too. He dresses like a slut. Forden. Okay, so this is one of the antagonists of Metaphor ReFantazio. He's not as strong a presence as Louise. He's a rogue. He's not as strong a presence as Louise, but he is bad guy, and you can tell he's bad guy because expression, and he has a lot of really, like, jagged angles. Like, his staff is a triangle. There's a lot of really, like, simple but precise repetition on his outfit that he looks intimidating, and he looks like a hard ass, obviously. Kill Evil Pope. Yeah, you can tell he's Evil Pope at a glance, right? And again, this is one of the more fantasy designs in Metaphor ReFantazio, But since they're using the same types of patterns that everybody else has, it's cohesive. Same types of colors, same types of patterns. Like, this is a dude in a robe. This is a dude in, like, fancy-ass robes. But he doesn't look out of place because the patterns are very similar. Of course he's evil. He's a member of the clergy. He looks mean. He looks mean. Like, he doesn't look like... He doesn't look like a fucking benevolent presence. He looks like, oh no, I would no. This dude's gonna burn me at the stake for existing. Somebody help! Somebody help! It's always ironic when a church representative dresses in gold while people are suffering. Oh yeah, he wears a lot of like really grandiose. Unlike the king, who was like a slump and his stupid, silly crown, you can tell that this is the actual guy that's in power because of the shoulders are really strong and everything is framing his face and elevating his face. And that just makes him, like, very imposing. Of course, we don't like Thornton. He's evil. But as a character design, it's a very good one. Very, very good one. Oh, hi. What was his name? Glodell? Hi, eyebrows. Hi, Burple. Oh my god, I love this one. This is like... I think there might be some 80s elements in the fashion in Metaphor 2 because of the loud patterns. Like, this like... cut of the jacket and this pattern is very 80s actually, but again they mix them super well. So like this is this is Glodell. He's also one of the bad guys, quote unquote. You fight him pretty early on, and he's also a dill hole, but he's a very like fashionable dill hole. Like his entire aesthetic is loud. He looks annoying because he is annoying. So like they did a really good job with this character design because everything about him screams fuckboy, right? I just saw him die from trying to kill Will in my profile like a moment ago. Yeah. He's not a very good bad guy. No, not a very good one. Like, he does give off an air of incompetence in, like, the way that he's standing around and looking, for sure. Literal loser, absolutely. Fat fucking loser, loser baby, loser. But it's a great design, because it's loud and annoying, and he looks like an underling that doesn't know his place, right? He's not, like, flamboyant enough to be a main antagonist. But at the same time, he's annoying looking. He doesn't look like someone who belongs or fits or wants to fit. He looks like he thinks he's more important than he actually is. Which, you know, again, without context, that's a good thing. Because that's exactly what the character designers were going for. And, like, I mean, do I need to say more? Nothing says loser that is obnoxious lackey more than purple leopard print. Oh yeah, the mannerisms also, like, it's very much, I think I'm better than you, but unlike Luis, who has a very quiet confidence and, like, a 13-inch dick, Glodell has none of that. He has no confidence at all. His stance is, like, very closed off and kind of insecure, but, like, he dresses really loud because he wants people to think that, like, he's better than what he actually is. Oh, purple has always been traditionally used for villainous characters. Purple and black, also, like, bright green. Think of, like, old... Okay, this is, like, the one ugly character by design, and you know what? It's a good design because it's ugly as fuck in Metaphor. This is, like, the only time you see a Nydia that isn't a beautiful creature. Because, like, what the fuck is that? What is that? Get it out of my sight. Get it out of my sight. The one design in Metaphor that I'm like, oh, this is ugly, but I think that was on purpose, so it counts as a good one. Like, again, design with a purpose. They wanted this dude to look fugly. They did that on purpose. What sleep paralysis demon is that? A Nydia ugly bastard. Now this is the one that I want to see in baby form. It would have been so funny, I needed it. Eyes of Bishojo, body of fat bastardo. Oh yeah, no, like this dude is super off-putting to look at by design. And like his clothes don't fit him right, but he still has like fucking fancy fur collar and shit. Like yeah, this one was supposed to look like out of place and weird. The penguin. Yeah, actually, he does look like the penguin. He looks like the Boss Baby 2 villain. Oh my god, he does. The only thing good thing about this is that we were busy gushing about Will and Yuffie. Yeah, we were probably having a better time talking about Will and Yuffie than we were talking about this dude. Okay, I don't even remember your name. You were Clemar, I think. They can have really big horns. That's why Luis's fake-ass horns didn't look super out of place. But this one is one of the more unassuming designs. This is more classic fantasy. This is a little bit more generic fantasy. It's still, like, a good design, mind you. It still has the same patterns as everybody else, but it's a little bit more unassuming. His whole thing is that he hates taxes. Yep. He's the libertarian. He I mean, he looks pretty unassuming, I'm not gonna lie. It's not a very strong design, but it doesn't need to be because this is NPC. NPCs don't need to be as striking as the main cast. If they have a smaller part in the story, don't worry so much about making their design stand out, because chances are it won't need to. The only thing you have to worry about, though, is making it cohesive, and this one is cohesive. It's a little bit more leaning towards fantasy, but the same patterns as everybody else, same use of straight lines, same use of silhouette. What are you gonna be doing after the review? Going to bed. Oh, this bitch. Yeah, no, gigantic shoulders, big eyebrows. All of their Rusant guys look like they had, like, lipstick. Like, this one is a great design, because this is the dude that would be, like, the military leader. That's what he wants, but, like, he's so annoying, and, like, you talk to him, and it's like, oh, okay. What was his name? I'm so bad at remembering these. This jackass. Rudolph. Yeah, this one's racist. This one's like, only the elf people will reign supreme, and he got booed off stage immediately. He got booed off stage immediately, but, like, look at how good his design is. Like, he has, like, a military uniform that looks completely different from the uniforms that everybody else is wearing, including Louise. He completely breaks silhouette because he wants to stand out. Look at that. He looks, like, so different from all the other military characters in this game because he wants to stand out. He wants to be, like, reign supreme. At the same time, though, he does share a lot of design patterns with everybody else. The shapes are just different. Most of the military uniforms in Metaphor ReFantazio have, like, really strong, wide shoulders that are squared. This is more rounded. Usually they're, like, lighter colors. This is, like, dark black with, like, bright red. He has, like, his little beret and military uniform, but at the same time, this dude was so annoying that I wanted to kick his ass immediately. He looks like an evil general, but he's not threatening. That's the thing, right? I don't know what it is, but I think it's a dumb hat. He doesn't at all look intimidating or threatening. He just looks like a dumb fuck. BB, dumb fuck. Yeah, exactly. Try hard. Trying way too hard. Take it back, baby boo. Hard ass. Yeah. Oh, bald! Snatch it, bald, delete it, bald. What was your name? Guido. Get back in your hole, loser. Bald! Oh, by the way, no shade against bald people. This bald in particular was very annoying, though. Again, just like Hulkenberg, he has, like, the bright blue eyes, the really big fuzzy ears. But again, he has a lot of elements that match with, Forden. A lot of, like, you will see with, like, the church members and the more, like, fantasy-coded characters in Metaphor that they use a lot of, perpendicular and parallel lines, when it comes to their patterns. Oftentimes in gold, because that's the stuff that kind of shows off the fantasy. The general vibe of the environment in Metaphor was very, like, Art Deco, right? It's stuff that, like, showed up... When was Art Deco a thing? Like, 1960s, 70s? But it's very, like, straight lines, nothing with a ton of flourish. It's very angular and very sharp and very pretty and a lot of gold, and a lot of the more fantasy characters in Metaphor use this, especially the church members. Because they're, like, severe and they want to, like, stick to the norms of, like, the old kingdom, and it shows. Like, it's literally the most hard-ass people in the game. Super annoying. But very pretty. Obviously, we can't fucking keep this going without mentioning the prince. You know who he looks like, obviously. He's literally unconscious for most of the game, but he has, again, a very similar silhouette to Will. He's cursed. He's like our changing date screen, so we see him daily. Much longer hair than Will, obviously. Sleeping Beauty, gorgeous character, though. Like, way more feminine in his silhouette than Will. Way more. Like, he has his little waistcoat that has, like, the waist snatched on the back. He looks like more because, like, it's his son. Time marches on and the day of a new king draws near every day. And again, yeah, similar outfit, like, similar color scheme to Will, just much lighter, much more pure and innocent Sleeping Beauty. He never gets a name. He gets called His Highness the entire time for a very good reason. But a very pretty character, nonetheless. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you guys noticed, but, like, I think that his eye color in this is lighter than the one that Will ends up with. Will's eyes are a brighter blue once he actually gets like the silver hair. But yeah, that's the prince. Very, very pretty character. Sleeping Beauty. Very feminine, very demure, very like helpless, defenseless. Got stabbed in the chest probably. And such an idiot that he got ganked instantly after he woke up from the curse. He was being gentleman-y and like a good prince. Got ganked immediately. It's okay, because we got something good out of it. Oh, my favorite. Right, okay. So, I do have to say, aesthetically, I'm not gonna bring the triangle because it's super late. But chat, use the emote. Aesthetically, my favorite character in Metaphor is Rella. Fucking, like, give it up for baby girl, hidden antagonist, one of the best written characters in this game. Pink thing, Rella. Like, holy shit, she's so beautiful. All the bird people have, like, really, really spindly necks. It's great. Like, it's so funny, though, because, like, from the front, the character looks snatched as fuck. It's so pretty, but, like, from the side, her hair is really big on the back. It's, like, the, like, 60s bob cut, but more angular. Like, again, it's really funny, right? Because at a glance, Rella looks, like, really innocent and beautiful and, like, a kind spirit, but her predominant shape is triangular, which is most often associated with villains. She has dragon wings on her headband. Her outfit is incredibly, like, villainous-like, if you look at it from, like, the full body. She has a very, like, lady villain outfit. She does. It's dark colors, a lot of triangular shapes, a lot of the same pattern as the church people do use. Really long, leggy. Like, she's giving Sailor Moon villain in the best way possible, but her face is, like, doll-like and beautiful and sad. The dragon wings on the headband are some ridiculous foreshadowing. Yeah, like, you would have never guessed, right? Like, never would have fucking guessed. But you see them and it's like, holy shit, yeah, of course. But since you usually see her talk sprite, you don't really make the connection until you're actually, like, encountering her in the field. And she looks pretty fucking menacing. And it's an incredibly sexy outfit, big shoulders, very strong shoulders, really, really strong shapes with Rella. Because she is one of those characters that, like, she seems unassuming, but apparently a pretty challenging boss fight if you aren't like me and you're playing fucking on easy because I wanted to get to the story. And overall, a very interesting character to look like because she is subvertingexpectations.com.org. And it's something that you don't really realize about her until you actually play the game and then you're like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. An incredibly sexy design too, yeah, but it's a very, like, muted sexy, it's sensual, it's more like, it's not Vava Boom, it's more like a quiet sexy, but it's very confident sexy too. Giant shoulder pads, really big sleeves, detached bodysuit, detached skirt, a very, very tall high heels. Her wings, unlike most Ishika people that have them, like, folded around the waist, they do spread out a little bit more. Like, her wings do break silhouette a little bit, but not a ton because they match the flow of the sleeves. I didn't find it hard either, but that's because it's designed for Basilio. Yeah, very regal, very cold character, but also very beautiful. She's also, like, the character that, like, if you look at, like, her boss fight, she also, like, it's implied that there was supposed to be, like, a dungeon there or something. It feels like they cut content out with Rella. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say that her segment was rushed, but I do feel like it was missing parts. Not rushed, but, like, cut up, if that makes sense. She is dead-ass aesthetically my favorite character in this game, though. It's absolutely beautiful. Also, pink thing. I like how awkward of a public speaker she was. Yeah, like, they set her up to be, like, this incredibly sweet character, and in the end she was like, no, which I really liked about her, but it shows in her design only if you look closely. It's, like, very, like, deliberate design elements that once you're on a second playthrough, you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense why they use shapes like that and why her overall look is so severe. You would have expected a character like Rella to have a much more softer silhouette, softer sense of flow, but now you know, like, if you play the thing, it's a very severe character for a good reason. It felt like that entire segment of the game was missing a dungeon. I think it was, yeah. We had to go through the entire academy thing to find her at the end. Just being on the entrance was totally not the main idea. Probably not. Remember that Atlas tends to cut out a lot of stuff because otherwise their games would take, like, 12 years to come out. The emo is also basically an act, which works because of her clothing, not her actual body. Yeah, exactly. Her body language is very insecure. It's like remorseful. It's soft, but her look is very severe. So it's a great character because silhouette-wise, it gives two different vibes at once. I love her so much. She looks sad and like fearful and like remorseful, but her outfit's really, really strong shapes. Again, one of my favorite character designs because it tells you a lot narratively and it tells you a lot just visually. At a glance, you can't tell this is a bad guy, but something about her is a little bit weird, you know? And I think that's everybody. That is everyone, but before we go, I do want to look at the ranking for the popularity poll for Metaphor because it happened recently. And I want you guys to see who won most popular character because I feel validated. But yeah, like, overall though, Metaphor has like one of my favorite senses of aesthetic for like any fucking JRPG. It's a very unique take on fantasy in general. I love the amount of fashion history and fantasy elements they mix together, their use of patterns, color, shape. It was all great. Like, the character designer cooked and gave us a feast. We're doing the Western one because we're in the West. Song jump scare. Oh, yeah. Atlas, don't you dare. I might have to mute this. Screaming! Obviously, for some reason, our baby boy was a number 10. Sad, but it's okay. He's number 1 in my heart. He's super cute. Protagonist, Will is number 10 on the popularity poll. So he made it. He made it into the poll, at least. He's 3rd worldwide, though. Oh, good. Ow, my ears. Cry about it! Del, the tsundere made it to number 9. He really does make that strong of an impression that manlet made it higher than the protagonist. But I can see it. He's a good character, a very good character. 8th is Brigitte. I expected her to be higher in the West. I think she was higher in Japan. I do love Brigitte as a character, and the design is goated. Mom, eat. Yep. Creature, why are you not higher? Creature. The creature is Juna. I love her so much. Jesus. Baby girl had to be pretty high up there. Everybody loved Gallica. I'm so happy because Mona was like so many people didn't like Mona in Persona 5 because he was so annoying. So it was really nice to see Gallica get the praise that she deserved. Yep. Oh, these two fucking morons tied. And you could not have more opposing color schemes and character designs if you tried. Like, Luis's vibe is, like, so severe and mean, and Basilio is like, how's a band? So this shows you what us ladies are into. Either psycho or dork, and there is no in-between. Wave, replace their names with the Blowjob Brothers. Do it! Do it! The duality of man. There's 2 wolves inside of you. There's 2 wolves inside of you. They're both hella gay, I'm sorry. Luis is 2nd worldwide, while Basilio's 4th, because the world has good taste. The world has excellent taste. I'm sorry. Luis is like, daddy. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. Haizume's the tits. Everybody likes this bat. Everybody loves, like, Ratman daddy. Like, he's so cute. Father. It says a lot when the antagonist is high on the list. It's a work well done. He's a very likable character. Like, he's a great antagonist. Bat thing. The bro, obviously, look, the shippers are powerful. And there's a lot of fanfics, alright? Stroll and Will get fucking, like, there's a decent amount with Luis, too. Not that I would know. But, like, Stroll gets a lot. Stroll gets around. Honestly, the best buddy characters in Persona games, they're always shafted and they always get treated like the butt of the joke. They deserve better, so I'm happy to see Stroll pretty high up there. He is the homie. He's the best. The Triclops is first, calling it Triclops. Stroll gets little boy pregnant. 6,421 fix. Yeah, there's a lot. I don't think there was, like, I didn't see any Mpreg ones, but probably is. And pop the fucking champagne. She's perfect. I'm validated. This is the canon romance option for metaphorrefantasio.com.org. Plus L, plus pre-show, plus you're white. Leave me alone. Pop the champagne. Yuffie wins. Yuffie wins. I love her so much. Yuffie wins. Yuffie supremacy. Baby. Yeah. Only time I comment on, like, a tweet and it's, like, an official Atlas one. Eh, baby. And there you go. Now mine is... Oh! There's Scruffy! And there we go! Yuffie sweep! I love that I was like, yep, I'm there forever, and there's Scruffy immediately. Oh my god, I love that. There's two wolves inside of you, chat. They're both gay, I'm sorry. Hey, baby. I love Yuffie. I'm so glad she won. Most sane Yuffie enjoyers. Probably. I'm gonna lick that eyeball. And yeah, that was the Metaphor ReFantazio character review. Like, comment, subscribe, go read my webcomic. Wave, put the ad on it on front. Like, and like, you know what? Tell me who you liked in Metaphor. Would you be willing to give the game a shot if you did not gigantically spoil yourself? I did warn you, and Wave is gonna put up a big banner. So if you get mad at me, it's your own damn fault. It sounds like a you problem, baby boo. Who do you like? Would you give the game a shot if you haven't before? Would you play it again if you have already? Do you agree with the popularity poll? Say yes or else. I love Yuffie, so fuck you. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. I love this game. I would definitely play it again if I didn't have another 50 games to play already. An incredible sense of style, aesthetics, narrative, writing, music, everything. It's great. Go play Metaphor. Don't be a pussy. And then after you play Metaphor, come watch the review. You can literally just, like, Wave, can you, like, put a timestamp at the beginning of the video that's, like, if you just want to hear Lily fucking tell you why you should play this game, skip to this point, it's just the end of the video. It's just me at the end being like, play Metaphor! Deadass. It's a great game. It really is. Give it a shot. It's probably one of the best fantasy games I've played and an amazing JRPG to boot. I do like that, like, I was called one of the most sane Yuffie enjoyers. But yeah, YouTube segment done. Oh, just in time, too. Fuck. Character reviews get really, really, long, I think. But, like, I think that I'm glad that the Metaphor cast wasn't gigantic, because, like, the most I could do was, like, 50 in these.
I ship all Metaphor and Yuffie euphemism.
Yeah, a little bit. I do like that name. Thanks so much for the super chat. Like, listen, this review, then you should give it a score. No, I don't like giving number scores because that's all people latch on to. I will say this, Metaphor is a very good game. Now we can go back to another JRPG tomorrow with Tales of Graces, hopefully without any technical difficulties. Oh god, I feel like this game is cursed. That score would be a Metaphor. Yeah! Just like two wolves inside you. Give it a triangle score. No, not numbers. I can't actually ring the triangle right now because it's like super loud. Numbers don't tell you the whole story, but what I will say about the game is this. It's a very strong game. It's very well written. There's some anime bullshit, but it's okay because it's not that much. And it's stylish as fuck. The UI is beautiful. The character designs are beautiful. The music is phenomenal. And altogether, it's a very strong visual and narrative experience. Graphics are a bit outdated, but Atlas needs to update their engines. They do. Give it a twink out of 10. I give it a million twinks out of 10. 10,000 Louise dicks up the asshole out of 10. There's your number, Reddit. People take reviews way too seriously because 9.5 for me doesn't mean it's going to be the same for everyone. Yeah, exactly. I think that, like, you shouldn't ascribe a number to it. That's why I don't like numbers, because like I think that people only focus on like the number because like they see the number and they like every argument you went flies out the window. So I'm just gonna argue as to why you should play Metaphor if you haven't already. So it's tomorrow Tales of Something. Tomorrow is Monday, so tomorrow we have Tales of Graces, yes. Then we have Yakuza on Tuesday, then we have Hollow Knight on Wednesday. Gorb. I am kind of afraid, I'm not gonna lie to you, chat, I'm kind of afraid to turn on Hollow Knight and have it be like, ah, and have it gank me, but like, I did replace the processor in the new PC. This one's faster and it's better, so we should be fine. But I don't want to ascend. I don't want to ascend. I lost like 3 days of work. I'm so behind. Ascend with Gorb. No, we're not going to become as Gorbs. I said that today, and Hubby was like, you do realize that there's like 3 layers of inside joke to that phrase now, right? And I was like, yeah, come to the stream. If you're in the stream, you're gonna know what Become as Gorbs is. I'm sorry. It's a fucking Minecraft, it's a fucking, like, in Minecraft slash, Nier slash Hollow Knight joke, and you have to be here, fucking live it. You need revenge. I'm gonna kick the shit out of that thing. It's Pink Thing lore. Yeah, I mean, join the community. Become a thing, be one of my things, and I will love you and cherish and treasure you forever. No, real talk. Thank you guys so much for being so patient while my PC was, being a dill hole. I genuinely appreciate the love and understanding from the community. And, yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me for, like, 3 hours a day while I yap about characters that I find pretty. And why. Do we have a Pink Thing wiki? No, I actually don't have a wiki page for anything, really. Pogo his ass to the moon. We're gonna. Which character in Metaphor do you think had the best voice acting performance? I really like Basilio's voice, but I think that, like, in terms of, like, raw emotion, Louise was pretty up there for me. One more day and we would have forgotten who you are. No! Louise and Heismay both delivered a lot of emotion in their performances. Also, the voice acting, the voice acting was great overall in the game. Another good point for Metaphor. Be patient with the machine spirit, it's tired and it needs incense. He's been resting. No, this tower is, like, much taller than the one I used to have. Like, the mini Lily's still getting repaired, though. Another day after that, and every single Patreon sub would have left because no content. Seriously? I did have people leave. I didn't read the fucking summaries, but I did have some people leave. I've spoiled my patrons because I post, like, every day. I prefer it this way, though, because, like, I like giving you guys consistent, quality content. I think it's better that way. And hopefully you guys are excited for the Yanagi comic this week, because I haven't made a Senless one in a hot minute. Most of the comments I saw were wishing that you would take a break, though. But I am taking breaks now, though. My work schedule used to be hell, chat. Like, here's the thing about my work schedule. It's rigid. Well, it has very strict deadlines, but it's pretty flexible overall. Like, I do have time. Like, I've been going out to eat with my grandpa every day. That wastes, like, 3 hours. And I'm still having time to do everything I need to do and catch up. Like, I'm going out. I'm doing stuff. I'm taking my dog out. Like, I have more time now. And thankfully, if need be, I do have help. Like, hubby does help me with stuff sometimes. Like, he's doing most of the scripting work for Magical Miss Lucy. He helps me with color work more often now. So, like, yeah, it's not like I don't have help for certain things, and, like, I can always put stuff like Pokemusu and whatnot on the back burner because it's not, like, a Patreon thing. Who was the last Zenless one? Miyabi? I don't remember if it was Miyabi. Well, who was it? I think it was. Yeah. No. It was Lecon. Lecon was the last Zenless one I did, like, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Astra and Eve. No, Lecon. It was Lecon. It was a Wolf Daddy. How's the progress of Pokemusu Magri? Don't expect Pokemusu this month. These, losing the PC for, like, 3 days cost me a lot of comic time. That is probably the most strict schedule that I have, is making sure that the Kinky Feet comes out properly at the end of the month. And while I did make good progress on sketch work, I could not line because I was doing sketch work on hubby's computer, and he has a little baby MacBook, which it works great, but it doesn't have Psy in it, so I'm only just catching up on that work now. We're still on Gen 2. I think we're going to be on Gen 2 for a few more months. Like, the reason I give myself such strict deadlines is because I know myself, and the discipline is key. If you're gonna do this as a profession, if you're gonna be like a professional artist, you need the deadlines. Believe me when I tell you that it does help to have very strict deadlines. That's why I like working with Patreon, because I'm not doing it on a commission base. I'm literally delivering a product every month because I have to. It's my job. Silver lining, thanks for the extra days, more time to plan out Milk Tank. No. No silver lining on Pokemusu, because I was not even thinking about it. If everything I did while my fucking PC was dead was like script and sketch, and that's about it. And play Dynasty Warriors to stave off the frustration from not being able to work. But I think that's it for tonight, guys. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you tomorrow for Tales of Graces, alright? The child is traumatized, and the purple thing is dead, and we'll get there because the time skip has finally happened. I love you things so, so much. Thank you for joining me tonight. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye! I have a webcomic. And it has everything that you would possibly want to have in a webcomic. It has romance, it has action, it has funnies, it has big tits. It's called Magical Miss Lucy. If you like magical girls and you like a silly little love story that might not end up being so silly later, this webcomic is for you. You can read it over on Webtoons if you look up Magical Miss Lucy or Kinkymation. Currently we have 3 episodes out. It's big chapter in a bit. This version obviously doesn't have spicy shit, but there is spicy stuff over on Patreon. Patreon.com/Kinkymation. Do not go in there if you're under 18. It is a story about a magical girl in her 30s. You could say that she's a little bit too old for that job, right? Well, there's a reason for that. She was actually a perfect match. But if you want to find out why she's a magical girl in her 30s, read the comic. It's definitely worth your while. Chill over.